Lots of fun. Visit us and call Daniel or Bo at Town Village Audubon Park at 901-374-7342. There's no place like home. Town Village Audubon Park.
Welcome to Sports 56 Mornings with Peter Edmiston and CJ Hertz on AM 560, 96.1 FM, and 87.7 FM. This hour is brought to you by Mid-South Power Distributors. All things diesel for over 26 years. Now, here are your hosts, Peter and CJ.
Every morning, man.
Yes.
What's going on? You just got to hit the little thing. No problem. Oh, goodness gracious. Welcome in, everybody. It is your Sports 56 Mornings. That's right. It's not ours. It's yours. And we're happy to be with you here from the Family Leisure Studios across the entire Mid-South. My name is Peter Edmiston. I am the Peter portion of Sports 56 Mornings with Peter and CJ, and the CJ portion is, you will be delighted to find out, also named CJ, as in CJ Hurt.
Hey, everybody. What's going on?
Good morning.
Morning.
How are you?
I'm good. We went for, we do the whole walk thing. We went for a walk a little bit later in the day, about mid-afternoon. And, Peter, let me tell you.
Tell me.
It was humid as hell. Ooh.
Yeah, it's sticky out there.
Ooh. Had to breathe through your mouth. You couldn't get no air if you were breathing through your nostrils. It's rough.
We went from, we were all cold and whatnot earlier in the week. It was like, 50-something, and now it's going to be like 85 and humid. So I hope you enjoyed that brief little flirtation that we had earlier this week with some kind of a normal non-humid deal, because that's abnormal for Memphis. Like, this is the normal.
That's
what I mean. I mean, it's normal. It's normal for Memphis. It's abnormal for humans.
Oh, okay.
But it's normal for Memphis.
Yes.
We're just sort of used to living in this insane, humid, bubble that we're in. We've been in for a while. So, yeah, good walk, good time. Get out there, enjoy, because this weekend's going to be rainy.
Yeah.
So today, not supposed to be rainy. Do whatever you need to do today. Because rain is coming, and I think it's going to be coming all weekend, so just be aware of that. Producing the program, off to a great start already.
He's always, like at the start of the show, he's always...
He's on it.
Like, almost there.
Almost there.
Almost there. We have to
like
take many
5%
quick timeouts, because he will always get off to a 08 run.
But he's back.
He is.
Yeah, I think he's ready. He's really focused on something right now. I mean, he's not even looking. Mind is totally. He may not even be hearing what we're saying right now. I'm not 100% sure he's hearing what we're saying.
Are your headphones on? Okay.
Mm-hmm. You sure? All right. Those are expensive headphones. He went over it yesterday. Those headphones are a little pricey for the average person out there. Don't expect to have the kind of style that our boy has here, because it's you probably can't afford what the deacon can bring to the table. Most likely. He is the deacon of the dollar. He is Reverend Stacks. He is, of course, America's soy toy. He don't eat no meat. And he can't be beat.
He eats all of his veggies, and he knows quite a few Reggies, come to find out.
He likes to eat that broccoli.
Oh, where are we going with this?
And if he sticks a fork in the electric socket, he's going to get Shockley.
Oh, okay.
But he's not going to do that, because that's foolishness. What you got?
I got nothing. Don't eat no steak.
Because
that's more than he can take.
He's gonna try that asparagus.
Mm.
But he's sure not gonna share-agus.
Couldn't find asparagus when I went to the grocery store this past week. I was upset.
Well, you didn't look hard enough because it's out there. I grilled some the other day. It's out there. It's out there in the wild, in the streets. You can get it.
In the wild street.
You can get it. You can
like
get
poke
it.
salad?
If you know the people. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. If you know the people and you know the spots where it's growing. We got some asparagus growing on the streets. Let's go get it. That poke salad's out there. It's poke salad season, everybody.
Yeah, it's definitely poke salad season.
Go get it.
Many a car wreck was almost had because I'm driving and Granny sees poke salad on the side of the road.
Yep, you got to have that little sack with you, and you go get it, and you get out of the car, and you go get the, yep. My dad, earlier this week, I was talking to him. He's like, it's poke salad season. I'm like, are you, people aren't out. Like, what do you, like, you think I'm, in my last house, I had poke salad growing in the back.
Just wild poke salad?
Uh-huh.
Oh, you lucky person, you.
I know. It was cool. But you got to cook it right or else.
Yeah, because it's poison.
It's technically poison.
Yes.
It's technically poison. So you do have to cook it and cook it right. And even some people even then don't necessarily have a great reaction to it. But I liked it. I added a little bitterness, little something to the greens.
Okay.
I like the mix of greens. Like the mix.
Yes.
We would do poke salad, mustard greens, collard greens, turnip greens, maybe a little. My dad would never do kale. I'll do kale now.
You will?
He's not interested in kale.
I need to try doing kale. I need to try throwing kale in there just to see
it's okay.
how it works.
It works.
Okay.
It's different, but it works.
Okay.
It depends on what you want to do. But you can go with all that. Any of your green mix is great. Oh yeah, I forgot. Here's Zach.
Yeah, we had the song had like stopped. We hadn't introduced.
We started talking about
Zach,
greens.
how are
We
you,
forgot to
Zach?
introduce Zach. What's up, Zach?
What's going on, everybody?
How do you do your green?
Like you talking about like collard greens or just like asparagus?
Are you only doing
like
collards, or are
green,
you
like
mixing
leafy
them up?
greens,
Yeah,
like
leafy
leafy
greens.
greens.
When it's time to eat greens.
I mean, like, would you put them in a pot and boil them, right?
Are you getting different types of greens, or are they all collards? Like when I cook greens, it's collards, mustard, and turnip. Are you combining greens or just one type of greens? Or do you even know?
I personally, I wouldn't know, but I mean, like, it's good for me, so I guess it doesn't.
You're the vegetarian of the group. It's supposed to be your deal.
I thought we were in this man's bag.
I thought this was the expert.
We were throwing the alley-oop and he was going to dunk it.
Well, I don't like.
Well, actually,
you
guys,
just
here's the deal with the greens. No, you got nothing like they're good for me, so I guess I'll eat.
You just listed 3 types of greens.
Yes.
Yep.
And
there's plenty more.
And there's plenty more, but only seen one type of green. That's probably collard.
You've only
seen one type of green?
What?
Like before it's actually cooked. Before you actually put it in a pot and you like cook them together. Like I only seen collard greens. I never actually seen turnip or mustard or anything else. I'm not saying that I wouldn't enjoy it. I just never seen like the before.
They don't look that different. They're not like it's not like it's like pink with like white polka dots or something.
They're all green.
They're all green. There's some different like sizes and shapes and stuff, but it's pretty much it's very similar. You wouldn't be like, what is that? I can't believe it.
You've never
what are you
seen
putting in your
mustard or turnip greens?
I won't say
How
I
have you never
haven't
seen turnip greens? Mustard greens, maybe I could understand to some extent. I can't really understand. But turnip greens are pretty common. Like turnip greens everywhere.
Well, mainly my focus is not really on greens that much.
I've never seen an apple.
Oh, really?
I just never seen one.
You've never seen?
People tell me about them, but I've just never seen one. I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, my main focus is not, focusing on like, like let's look at some turnip greens today. It never crossed.
Well, listen,
You're the
Zach,
vegetarian.
I'm gonna be honest with you.
Shop in the vegetable aisle.
I
That's
do.
where the greens
But
are.
wait, hold on.
I do.
There's a difference between my main focus today is looking at some turnip greens, and I've never seen a turnip green in my life. Now, those are the two extremes. Even though I've seen lots of turnip greens, I've never once awakened with the primary goal of my day of seeing some turnip greens and checking them out and seeing what's going on with them. Never once.
Oh.
Never once. No, it's been part of my day. Hey, yeah, I got to make some turnip greens. Oh, I got to go get some turnip greens. Yeah, that's been part of it. I'm not gonna lie to you, that's happened before, but never once was that my primary goal of the day.
You've got me envisioning.
Envisioning.
Yes, you've got me envisioning grocery stores as zoos now, where we are in the greens
in
exhibit.
the wild. Yeah.
And like, hey, let's look at the greens.
Oh, I saw some mustard greens.
That's a
today.
mustard green right there. You see it? You see it?
Oh, man. So let me say this, Zach. You gotta expand your horizons a little bit because there's a little different flavor on all these greens. It just depends on what you're into. It's certain greens are certain. There's some that are more bitter, some that are more peppery, some that are a little milder. They're all different types of flavors. I've had what kind of green? I mean, you got you got your spinach, you got your kale, you got your turnip greens, mustard greens, collard greens, but then you got your more exotic greens. You got your dandelion greens. If you want to go there, you can definitely do that. You got your beet greens. Those are fun.
Are they? I've thought about going the beet green route. What's the taste on those? Is it the same sort of saltiness that I might expect from like a mustard or turnip green, or is it?
It's a little milder.
Bitterness? Okay.
Nah, it's a little bit milder, and they're bigger, and they're the stems are kind of harder to deal with a little bit. They're thick, big old thick stems. You have to kind of figure out what you're going to do there and get those off the. But yeah, they're good. They're good. The dandelion greens are milder, like the Swiss chard. The chard is a little more light and got a little pepperiness to it. It's nice. Watercress, if you want to go there. I mean, there's so many different greens.
I like the
stems. Fun with it.
The stems are what holds the seasoning. So I'm about that stem life, especially with collard stems are wonderful to me.
Well, you just have to, and the thing is, you have to just sort of know going in if they're real big and thick. You got to cook them for a while. You got to make sure that you get, because if you don't, then it's just gonna be very unpleasant.
Yes.
And if you just want the greens, you want to cook them not as long, then you need to throw the stems in a different batch or whatever. But if you're gonna just let them go all day long and just put them on then you can throw anything else.
Preferred meat to throw in your greens.
That's it depends on the mood, but generally a hock, like a hock of some kind. Possibly necks, like a turkey neck. Is a good one as well.
Try smoked turkey tail. That is good. That is good.
I can see that.
There's more meat than a turkey neck, and it's real flavorful as well.
See, I like it. I like the bone part. The meat. I don't care so much. I mean, the meat's fine, but you shred it off of there if you want to. But the bone, if you cook that bone right, you can get that marrow to kind of go into it, and that's where the real thickness, the real extra flavor starts to come out. If you can just kind of
get that bone,
boil it for a while and get that bone to sort of melt into the. That's the good stuff right there. This got me hungry.
Yeah, I hadn't ate breakfast. I don't know if you can tell.
But now you don't. You said you don't do vinegar, right?
No, I don't. I don't put vinegar in there. No.
Anything else? What's your liquid of choice?
Liquid of choice?
Like your braising liquid. Like what are you gonna put in
water?
There? Just water?
Just water. Just water.
Where's your flavor
Season
from?
The seasoning. Salt, pepper,
seasoning?
onion powder, onion, garlic powder. Salt, pepper, onion powder, garlic powder. Got me salivating over here. Throw an onion in there. Throw the smoked turkey tails in there as well. Let it boil all day long, and it comes out perfect. So good.
I need that vinegar. I need a little tang. I need a little tang.
I'm not a big tang person.
I want that tang.
Okay.
And I want that tang in the green. I want the smoke with the tang is where. If it's just pure smoke, it's good, but it doesn't. I like the real good ones have that little extra because I like to put the hot sauce in it, and the hot sauce has to play off that tang to really be
okay.
That makes it. I like that.
See, I put the hot sauce on whatever the meat is, and then the hot sauce and the meat play off of the saltiness of the greens.
You're talking about after you cook it.
After I cook it, yeah.
Yeah, like on the plate.
Like on the plate, yes. So whatever I'm eating, like if I'm eating baked chicken with the greens, and there's hot sauce. Or if I'm smothering some pork chops, there's hot sauce on that to play off of the greens.
I like that. Since you gotta, I think you gotta have those. You gotta have those elements to be where it is. Zach strikes me. He wouldn't put any hot sauce. Do you own hot sauce, Zach?
No, there's no way Zach eats hot sauce.
No, not a chance.
No.
Yeah,
I think we have a bottle of hot sauce, but
not a chance.
I don't eat hot sauce.
I eat like nothing but hot sauce. I go through probably hot sauce. I go through bottles a week of hot sauce.
Wife got mad at me because she told me the last time we were at the grocery store I needed to buy 2 bottles of hot sauce, and I only bought one, and then ran out in like a week and a half, 2 weeks. It's like, hey, remind me to get more hot sauce. She's like, no, because I told you to get 2 bottles, and you didn't listen. Like, okay.
Why didn't you get 2 bottles? That doesn't make any sense. You should have got 3 bottles.
Probably should have just got the big.
It's not like
the
hot
big
sauce.
gallon
It's not like
bottle.
it's not like hot sauce goes bad. I mean, it's hot sauce. It's not going.
True.
You can keep that forever. Why don't
True. And
get big? I got get the biggest quantity I can possibly get.
that's what I might have to start doing.
What's your hot sauce?
Louisiana.
Louisiana's good.
Louisiana. Like,
I like Louisiana.
I don't mind other hot sauce varieties, but my go-to is Louisiana. Just bow off the bat.
Very solid.
What's yours?
Just depends on the mood. There's definitely Louisiana. That was my dad's always. That's kind of his go-to. So I always kind of stick with that as a family thing. Depends on if I want to go. I do like to keep a little bit of the green Tabasco as a little milder alternative.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really like red Tabasco that much. Louisiana to me is vastly superior to red Tabasco, but the green Tabasco is good and it's mild. It's a little bit milder. So like for something you don't want it to just overwhelm the hot sauce, but you want a little extra heat added to it. That's beautiful. It comes in nicely. It doesn't just blow everything away like a lot of hot sauces do. Then I'll go for like a Frank's Buffalo, and I want more of a Buffalo style.
That was the other one.
Frank's Buffalo, like nobody's business. And I could play with like a sriracha type sort of things.
Okay.
Like a more of a Asian style hot sauce too. So it's a little bit of different heat. Like I like to keep it different. Just depends on the mood. And then I go with my brother-in-law's introduced me to some of the insane hot sauces. He's got those like pastes that are made from like ghost peppers and stuff.
Oh no!
That are
all you can taste is the heat.
It is. I've had like one in my life that I was like, oh yeah, this is extremely spicy, but also I can still taste the other.
Right.
Most time it's just like I'm just sweating and like this like, mouth is on fire. No, that's not a pleasant reaction at all.
No. I really enjoy like as far as hot sauces go for like wings or things of that type. Like I really enjoy the mango habanero sauce. Like the first 2 bites are really a real nice flavor to me. But bite number 3 comes and my tongue is about to fall out and I can't taste anything for the next week. So I have to do that in moderation. That's my
wife's favorite is the mango habanero.
Really?
And she does not really like spicy that stuff that much, but that for some reason that combination
Definitely.
of the sweet and the heat, the sweet heat, everyone. I don't love it as much as everybody else, but I'm like just a pure heat guy. I like
Okay.
but not like overpowering.
Right.
I don't want to be on the insane spectrum. I don't need some kind of a show everybody what's up. Check out. I can eat this. This is not a proof of manhood or something like to eat. I don't enjoy having unpleasant feelings when I eat. But if I like a little, you gotta have a little bit of that little bit of something with it. That we've learned today.
Mm-hmm.
Zach, you throw a little hot sauce. Sometimes my preferred salad dressing is a little bit of hot sauce. That's a little tip for everybody out there. If you want to spice up your salad, and you don't really like the existing buffet, the menu of salad dressings that are out there. I would suggest trying, particularly with some spinach salad, a little dab of Frank's is great. Or if you want to go a little crazier and throw a little Louisiana or something like that on there, one of the more traditional hot sauces, that definitely works. And it's also lower calorie if you're kind of watching your figure, and so it provides a nice little alternative depending on what else is in your salad. It's quite good.
Yeah, honey mustard.
Throw that out there.
Yeah, honey mustard all day on my salad.
Honey mustard on your salad?
Yes.
I don't know. You struck me as a vinaigrette type of guy.
No, that's too much.
Oh,
Too much what?
Too much
vinegar?
No, it's just
Too much vinaigrette?
it sounds a lot. Vinaigrette.
Vinaigrette. There's 3 syllables.
That sounds a lot.
Honey mustard. That's 4 syllables. So
Sounds
honey
expensive.
mustard has vinaigrette only has 11 letters, and honey mustard has 12. So I'm not sure I'm not sure what it sounds too much. It's fewer syllables and fewer letters. So
no, it's just is like I've heard of it before. It's
you've
not.
heard of it. You've heard of vinaigrette?
I've heard of
have
vinaigrette.
you seen it in the wild though?
I have.
Okay.
Because it's like it has a little purple color to it.
What depends on the vinaigrette? There's a million different vinaigrettes.
Well,
Vinaigrette's not it's just a it's a style of the dressing. You have balsamic vinaigrette. You can have a raspberry vinaigrette. You can have a sherry vinaigrette. You can have all kinds of different vinaigrettes.
I mean, from a caloric standpoint, also vinaigrette is like 70 calories versus honey mustard, which is like 140 calories.
Well,
So
I gotta have my cheat day, CJ.
Oh, okay. My fault. With your raisin cookies. Knock yourself
Hey,
out.
I'm telling you. That's a good day right there.
honey mustard on your salad is a cheat day? What is?
No.
I mean, come on.
And he's got raisin cookies for dessert,
on, man.
Peter.
What are we?
That's an
I mean,
epic
I'm
cheat
not
day.
saying you got to eat. I'm not saying you got to eat meat, Zach. You can do whatever you feel like you got to do. But we got to get you a better cheat day. I mean,
Like cheese fries at least.
at the very least, we got to do like some kind of a Nutella chocolate situation, some kind of a, I don't know.
He
like
doesn't eat
cake.
chocolate, so it can't be chocolate.
Oh, I forgot about that. What if Nutella's got cocoa? Dang, you can't eat that anymore.
No.
Oh, man. What's the?
No chocolate, no caffeine, nothing tasty. So, yes, a salad with honey mustard with raisin cookies is the best he can do as a cheat day.
You got to start getting hot sauce. That's the only thing extreme that you can have. You got to start doing it. You can't have alcohol. You can't have chocolate. You can't have sugar. So you got hot sauce is the only.
I can have sugar. I just don't eat a lot of it. Like I thought we explained this.
No, because eating raisin cookies is not sugar.
It's barely
it's-
even sugar. It's
Good
barely even
grief.
sugar.
There's a lot of sugar in raisin cookies.
Get your boy.
We gotta. Zach, come on.
So what type of birthday cake are you having? Is it just a giant raisin cookie?
No, it's a big salad with honey mustard in it. in a candle. And it's
He's
just
got
like
a candle in the center that they blow out. Okay,
Yeah, that's right.
that makes sense.
Everybody dig in, and everyone's like, "Oh God, this party is this is the worst."
No, it's
Zach,
just,
is this girl that you've been talking to? Are we? We're not. I mean, you may have to. She may not be interested in oatmeal and raisins. You may have to expand out your horizons a little.
no.
bit.
Like if she's interested in chocolate, like I'll buy her chocolate. I just wouldn't partake in it. So she could have the entire box or roll of cookies to herself.
What if she eats like an Oreo or something, and then she wants to make out? Do you make her brush her teeth, or is it? What if you catch some like incidental chocolate? How does that work?
Make her rinse her mouth out. Like that's fine. 'Cause
Yeah.
if you eat mayonnaise around me, it's like no, we can't kiss. You got to go do something about that mayonnaise
That's true.
on your breath.
Yeah,
like
no,
go someplace. Make her rinse her mouth out.
Yeah,
That's
at least drink some water to kind of like flush all of that out.
yeah.
At least,
Yes.
you know.
The mood is right. Music's swelling. She eating a little Oreo. She's like, "All right, come over here, Zach." And he's like, "No, baby. Here's a little Listerine I have in my pocket. Just
hand her a glass of water.
Hit that up a little bit. Hit that up a little bit, and then we can start
It's a
getting
little
in there.
spicy. Just swallow that. Don't need to get out of it. Spit it out.
All right. Well, if anybody's got any, this is maybe the most important text, request that I've had in a while. Ladies and gentlemen, 67129 on the text line, or Twitter at Peter Edmiston, at Sports56WHBQ, at Conradicalness, at Rack City Zach. We got to get Zach a better cheat day. Can we help Zach find something delightful that does not contain chocolate? It does not contain, a whole lot of sugar. I mean, although, Zach, frankly, you should open that up a little bit. I mean, let's just open that up.
No caffeine either.
And they cannot contain caffeine, which that's the chocolate. That's the limiter in the chocolate. Can it contain vanilla?
Yes.
Okay, it can contain vanilla. So now I got my wife a Mother's Day cake of vanilla. It was a vanilla cake with vanilla frosting and a little cheesecake filling.
Oh, okay.
No chocolate was involved.
Okay. You made it or you got it?
I acquired it.
Okay.
I made it happen. I think that's the important thing.
Okay.
Let's not worry about who made it.
I was just wondering so I could get the recipe up off you, bro. That's all.
Recipes go to the store. I'll tell you which store it is, and give them money, and then they give you. And it said Happy Mother's Day on it, but then the A got messed up, so it said Happy Mother's Doy, which was not as good. But couldn't quite correct that, but still, it was extremely delicious. Now, Zach, would that qualify? Could you have that? Is there any limiting thing? Is there any reason why you could not have that? Based on what I've told you, there's nothing else in it that's notable.
Oh yeah, gluten free. That's another one.
Oh, good grief! Good grief! We
were so close.
Yeah, make sure it's gluten free.
Okay, so it's got to be gluten free, no chocolate.
Gluten free.
Lotion. Is gluten free like a medical thing, or is that a other thing?
Some people are medical. I know
celiac or something like that.
Yeah,
you got gluten free. Yeah, I mean, I'm just
it's medical.
Is that a life choice, or is that a?
Yeah, because some in certain cases gluten is made from pig.
Ah, okay.
And so they will incorporate that type of gluten into the food.
What if I can give you a guaranteed non-animal-based gluten?
In the food?
Yeah.
Sure.
Oh boy. Good luck. Zach, I'm with you. I think the salad with the honey mustard and raisin cookies is the best you can do for a cheat day.
There's got to be, but we've got to be able to do better than this. We just got to. Okay? We can do this. I'm going to find this. I'm going to find you some see where this gluten situation is. I'm not sold on your description of gluten at all. I'm not sold on it. We're going to find this thing out. We're going to figure this thing out.
Okay.
We're going to get you something better. Okay? In the meantime, we also have a big show because we're going to talk to the president and CEO of Regional One Health, Dr. Reginald Coopwood will join us 8 o'clock to talk. Well, I mean, I think you can probably figure out what he's going to talk about. It's probably not recruiting, I would imagine. Also, we're going to talk about we're going to do our Thursday look at the squared circle, the action inside the ring with the one and only Dustin 5-star. He will join us at 9 o'clock, and he knows about cheat days too, so maybe he can help you a little bit there, Zach. But get those texts in. Extraordinary
we got quite a few.
Good. Okay, well, up next, we're going to find Zach a better cheat than what he's got right now. And we're going to find something that he can serve to that lucky lady, whoever she is, and not have to have some kind of a disinfectant process to make out afterwards. We'll do all that when we return. Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 96.1, 87.7.
Want to get your voice heard? Hit us up on the First Bank phone line or First Bank text line.
Commitment, dedication, perseverance. At FedEx, our people are our strength. Even during these unprecedented times, we are delivering medical supplies, test kits, and the things you need every day. Helping the world move forward together. Strength, what we deliver by delivering. FedEx.
Hey, sports fans, you already know the Butcher Shop has been a great Memphis tradition since 1981, and it still is. The Butcher Shop is absolutely open for your takeout with curbside pickup or Grubhub delivery because the Butcher Shop is still serving your favorite steaks, fish, and seafood. But now you can also pick them up raw and take them home to cook. You get the highest quality from the Butcher Shop and the comfort of home cooking. All wine and beer selections can be sold and picked up curbside as well. Plus, order curbside and pickup and receive 10% off your food order. And how about Burger Fridays? Treat your company to lunch, and the Butcher Shop will deliver Hamburger Friday any day of the week with all the fixins for just a minimum $250 order. The Butcher Shop is here for you, so don't worry about getting a great meal. The Butcher Shop has cooked or uncooked meals for curbside pickup or Grubhub delivery. Call 757-4244 or online at thebutchershop.com. The Butcher Shop at the Agri Center, Walnut Grove, and Germantown Parkway.
Hey folks, I'm Jarrett Carter. My family recently purchased East Memphis Ace Hardware at Quince and White Station, and we're excited to offer the best selection of Big Green Egg and Traeger grills. And then don't forget about our Benjamin Moore Paint Studio and the Garden Center for flowers. Save 60% with our new Duracell key fob replacement program. We have a master locksmith service as well as glass cutting and screen repair. The East Memphis Ace Hardware, located at Quince and White Station behind Three Little Pigs.
Got something you want to get off your chest?
You better have a backup plan.
Want to join the conversation?
Someone needs to tell him he has to grow up.
Join us on the First Bank phone lines at 360-8255 or the First Bank text line at 67129.
Did you know nearly 40% of men under 40 and over 75% of men over the age of 40 experience sexual performance concerns? At the Memphis Men's Clinic, their experienced physician performs a comprehensive evaluation that determines which specific issues may interfere with your sexual performance. These issues can vary and range from anxiety to medical issues, low testosterone, or erectile dysfunction. The Memphis Men's Clinic has evaluated hundreds of men of all ages over the years and reestablished a normal sexual life. The Memphis Men's Clinic will work aggressively to resolve issues and allow you to restore your sexual health and overall well-being. That's the Memphis way. If you're 20 years old or 90 years old, come and get cared for the Memphis way. Treatment that's based on your specific needs after a professional clinical evaluation by their experienced board-certified physician. Call the Memphis Men's Clinic today at 901-443-0475 or visit memphismensclinic.com.
Welcome back to Sports 56 Mornings with Peter Edmiston and CJ Hurt. This hour is brought to you by Mid-South Power Distributors. Here once again are Peter and CJ.
Your call is very important to us. Please stay on the line. Your call will be answered by the next available operator. Did you know you can go online to find the services that you need? Check us out. I'm never going to get sick of doing that. I think every rejoin I'm going to do that. I want you to know that. Every single rejoin. It just makes me happy.
Smooth jazz today, I'm taking it.
Yes.
All right.
No, this is disco.
Oh.
It's disco day. He just got it wrong. He's got it wrong.
You don't play like that. You know your boy has. You know he will. Got some text to get to on the First Bank text line, 67129.
All right. Let's get it.
My grandmother would use pickled pig feet in greens. Man, was it good. I've had greens with the pig feet, ham hock, pigtail, snout as well. Greens are just really good.
Just throw any of that stuff in there is fine. You're good. The greens can handle whatever you throw at it, really.
Yes.
The pickled part is the thing that adds that little extra.
Because that's that vinegar, isn't it?
It's that tang. Yeah,
yeah,
it's the tang thing.
Like.
My friend's dad had a jar of pickled pig's feet right there sitting on the counter as soon as you walk in, and you just grab one every now and then. I was like, oh god, I can't that I can't deal with. He just would like just eat them and just them. No, thank you. But put it in something, sure, absolutely.
Tim has texted in trying to help Zach find a much better cheat day than raisin cookies and a salad with honey mustard dressing on it. Tim says, veggie pizza, extra cheese. Then Tim found out that Zach was gluten-free also and said, good grief, gluten-free crust.
Tim, all right, so what about that?
Tim,
what about a gluten-free crust with a veggie pizza with lots and lots of cheese? What do you think about that?
That sounds a lot.
This man doesn't like love. He doesn't like flavor.
No,
what do you like?
I don't have a problem. No, it's the way you said it. It's like extra cheese. I'm like,
because it's a cheat day.
God,
you're supposed to indulge. It's an indulgence.
Like my arteries shivered. Like
your arteries are like
arteries.
Your arteries are like giant, huge tunnels of magic. Your blood pressure is probably like
caves, man.
70/30. I mean,
Good
your heart
grief.
beats like once a minute. You're fine. You probably need to clog the arteries a little bit. That would help you. Your arteries are too loose, too open.
Don't want it too loose.
You got to, you got to tighten that thing up a little bit.
Keep it tight, man.
Up a little bit. You got to get it right. Get it tight.
That's what Bubba Sparks was talking about in Miss New Booty. It wasn't about the booty. It was about the arteries going towards the booty.
Because it was so
Eat
loose.
more gluty
Yes.
is what he was saying.
That,
That's what
exactly.
I found you. Eat more gluty. Get it together. Tighten up them arteries. Hit the doctor's office. About a month or two.
Eat extra cheese, then see what it do.
No, I don't. I don't have a problem with veggie pizza with extra cheese. It's the extra cheese. That's a bit
So
too
veggie
much.
pizza with extra cheese, you're good.
Yeah,
Okay.
with a little bit of extra cheese.
Now it's a little bit extra. Veggie pizza, extra cheese.
Yeah.
Okay.
Extreme extra cheese. extra. Two types of cheese. Extra and then extra.
It's more like a. I was gonna go Italian, but I couldn't figure out the word. Anyway, it's like little like Salt Bay type of cheese. You know,
Parmesan?
just
Parmesan.
Parmesan.
Did you say Parmesan? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, how do y'all say it? Is it not Parmesan?
It is absolutely not Parmesan.
It's not Parmesan.
Are we sure it's not Parmesan?
It's Parmesan.
No, that's Parmesan.
No.
Parmesan.
Where's the sh part?
The SA.
There's that's SA is not sh. It's not San Antonio.
Are we sure it's not?
We are positive it's not.
Okay. I must.
If there was an SIAN, then I could say maybe Parmesan, but there's not. It's just Parmesan.
You say tomato, I say Parmesan. I don't see anything wrong.
What about that cheddar? You got any of that stuff?
That who?
The cheddar?
What's that?
Mozzarella?
Talking about cheddar?
Peter, now you're just being ridiculous, man.
Well, I mean, if we're talking Parmesan, then it's definitely cheddar and mozzarella on my pizza.
Oh.
Are you serious with the Parmesan? Have you never heard that word said before?
What? Parmesan? This is
Parmesan.
the first time I've heard it.
Parmesan cheese.
Yeah, never heard it. I always go in and be like, let me get some of that Parmesan. They look at me kind of funny, but then they're like, oh, okay.
All right,
we got you. Here's your Parmesan, sir.
Well, good. Just FYI, it's Parmesan.
Okay.
So it's important for you to know to know how that works. That's very important. Cordedrian hits me up on Twitter at Cordedrian Turdwool and says, silver lining of the sports band, quality hot sauce breakdown on the show this morning. You're right. Louisiana is the correct answer. Red Tabasco is way overrated. Thank you, Cordedrian. I agree.
Yes.
Although that green Tabasco is I think it can get caught up in the red is a major overhype. No reason. No, if you got and there's so many other things on the shelf that's better. You know, the Mexican, the Cholula, that stuff is better. The Louisiana is my favorite, but there's others that are out there that are also better. Don't even take the red Tabasco and just dump it. But the green Tabasco, don't lump that in with the red. Green Tabasco's got its own thing going.
Texas texted in and said, wow, Zach must spend a fortune on food.
Is that true, Zach? Do you spend a fortune on food?
He's not eating anything. Why would he spend anything?
Yeah.
No, I don't. I honestly, I don't spend a lot on food.
Because he doesn't eat much food.
Yes.
Yeah, because it's
Zach's caloric intake is about 50 a day.
Although I smelled apple cinnamon oatmeal. Was that you this morning?
No, that's not me.
Okay.
that was yesterday.
Nothing is Zach ever.
Yesterday he had apple cinnamon oatmeal.
Never.
That was yesterday.
Nothing is ever Zach. In terms of eating, nothing is ever Zach. I don't think I've ever seen Zach eat. Now that I think about it, at work, I don't think I've ever seen you eat at work.
You sure?
I don't think so. Maybe I have, but I don't remember it.
No, you wouldn't.
Never seen it.
I've seen it.
You've seen it?
Yeah.
Like 2 bites?
Like 4 packs of oatmeal.
No.
Oh, I did see that. I did see the cookies one time. That's true. I did see the cookies one time.
How many packs of oatmeal do you usually eat, Zach?
I had to cut it down to 2 because I
had to cut it down to 2
because I was going in. I was going in on 3, but then like my bowel system was like, it was like, yo, like you gotta chill.
It's a lot of oats.
It's like you gotta chill, man.
It's a lot of oats. Yeah.
Nobody warned me before he said that. Okay.
I didn't want to hear that either, but that's right. I mean, it's definitely that's definitely a thing. You got to watch out for that.
Yeah,
You can make oatmeal a cheat thing. You could do that.
You can do peanut butter, right?
Yeah.
Oh man!
Bow. Now we're back in business.
Now we're in the game. You could definitely do that. We could definitely make this thing work. Come on, man. We can do this. What about golden Oreos even? Golden Oreos there's no chocolate in golden Oreos.
Yeah, but I got to stay away from those. I have to stay away from those.
You got to stay away from everything.
No.
Why do you have to stay away from the golden Oreo?
Because my freshman year,
they're so delicious.
My freshman year in college,
they're vastly superior to the regular Oreo.
Yes.
My freshman year in college, I used to buy those things a lot, and I gained a lot of weight off of those. And
okay, now we're getting
somewhere. All right,
I gained a lot of weight, and so now I try to like distance myself because not only like
social distance from the Oreo,
right? Because it's a cookie, but it has the filling in it, and so that was getting to me, and so I had to
that was getting to you. I was getting.
You eat it with milk?
Do I eat it with milk?
No, certainly.
Yes.
No.
Okay, here's what you do: you take the cookie, hold it in the milk for about 6 seconds, 6.5 seconds, and pull it. Oh, it's so good. Oh my gosh.
It takes that little mushy.
Mm-hmm.
That's wonderful. Don't hold it too long, or it'll just dissolve.
I call it the Achilles dip because you're dipping it from, so you're not getting it all the way saturated, and so there's still that vulnerable part.
Now here's
right
the question,
there.
Here's the question, though, CJ. CJ, can you get 2 bites out of it, or is there just always a one? Just
it's 2
pop
bites.
The whole thing in your mouth?
Who's trying to get 2 bites out of that?
I try every now and then. I try to get 2 bites out of it. I try to go half and then re-dip, and then I re-dip
and
the
re-dip
half.
it.
And,
Oh,
you're
better than me because I'm by the fistfuls. It's
Yeah.
No, I'm one biting that joker.
How many sleeves? What are we going through? A sleeve? 10, 15 at a time?
Oh,
easy?
God. Easily a whole sleeve if I don't stop myself.
Your boy here, right here, I have to admit, day before, I have some golden Oreos here.
Ooh.
And so I took the golden Oreo and I took it apart. I took the filling out. And then I replaced the filling with Nutella, and then made my own golden Nutella Oreo, which was, oh my God!
I'm thinking about doing a golden Oreo cheesecake.
It was so good,
that seems like a lot of effort, man.
A golden Oreo what?
Cheesecake.
I mean, that would be delicious. I'll tell you.
Yes.
That would be spectacular.
Yeah,
I'm fully in favor of you doing that.
I have to be willing to put forth that work,
but it's going to be worth it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, everyone seems to be helping Zach out here, and Zach, we need you to just kind of we need a little more cheat day from you.
So we got the dessert now. Golden Oreos is a legit dessert.
That's a legit cheat dessert.
Yes,
because it makes you uncomfortable. That's good.
Yes.
That's what you want. A cheat's supposed to. You got to get out of your comfort zone a little bit. You got to shock your body.
Now we got to get rid of this salad with the mustard dressing, honey mustard.
Well, that's fine. He can do that. He just can't look at that as a cheat or anything like that. Remotely, that has to.
I'm talking about for the cheat day. Yeah.
Yeah, we can't even remotely think about that as a cheat. That's no. Under no circumstances is a salad a cheat.
Unless it's covered in cheese and fried.
That's not even. If you fry the salad, I guess. That's
bread it, fried, throw some hot sauce on top, put some cheese on there also, I guess. But you're not doing that, so no, that doesn't work.
No. Even then, I'm not pleased at all. No. We're gonna make it. We're going to make it happen. Now, we talked a lot about the situation for reopening and what does that mean for the country? What does that mean for sports? What does that mean? We'll talk, I'm sure, with Dr. Coopwood about stuff like that coming up here in a little bit. I do know that one of the things that we've talked about is the renegotiation from a salary standpoint for a lot of these leagues. And baseball is definitely I would say the most contentious at this point when it comes to renegotiating that stuff. Up next, some pretty strong statements from a pretty good player about why this thing may have maybe a little tougher than some folks think. We'll do that when we return in the Family Leisure Studios. Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 96.1, 87.7.
Check out Dave Woloshin and Brett Norsworthy with Sports Time on Sports 56. Weekdays from 3 to 6 on Sports 56, 96.1 FM and 87.7 FM.
Whether you're working from home or working on your fitness, you want what you're listening to be what you're listening to, right? Not what your roommates or family are listening to. Now is the perfect time to get a pair of premium wireless earbuds. Raycon is the way to go. Raycon start at about half the price of other premium brands on the market, and they sound just as amazing. Raycon's everyday E25 earbuds, the best model yet. You get 6 hours of playtime, seamless Bluetooth pairing, more bass, and a more compact design that gives you a comfortable noise isolating fit. It's great for conference calls, video chats, or binging on podcasts. I do that too. It was co-founded by Ray J, and celebrities like Cardi B and J.R. Smith have already given Raycons their seal of approval. Now's your turn. See what the hype's about. Get 15% off your order at buyraycon.com/herd. That's buyraycon.com/herd. 15% off. One more time. buyraycon.com/herd. Savings accounts at typical banks often have rates starting with 0, but a Marcus by Goldman Sachs high-yield online savings account really helps your money grow. You could earn much more interest with Marcus than with the largest banks, so go to marcus.com to learn more about their high-yield online savings account. Comparison made to the 3 largest U.S. banks measured by total deposits. Rates as of March 4th, 2020, and may vary by state. Goldman Sachs Bank USA, member FDIC.
I'm Dr. George Flynn with an update on the skin clinics and COVID-19. We continue to be open for elective medical procedures such as Botox, Scarlet, and Agnes. And we thank you for abiding by our new safety protocols and for your patience with longer than average times for appointments. We're still having reduced appointment times for the safety of our clients and staff. At this time, after consulting with outside medical experts also and following the community guidelines, we believe it best to wait to offer aesthetic services such as brow shaping, waxing, and facials. We look forward to offering these services as soon as possible. The Skin Clinics is currently accepting names for a waiting list that we will use to fill appointment times when we can begin offering these services and these procedures. Call us at 345-7546. That's 345-SKIN to book your medical procedure or to get on the waiting list for aesthetic treatments. Thank you, and we look forward to seeing you soon.
This is Peter Edmiston from Sports 56 Mornings. During this coronavirus pandemic, all of us at Sports 56 urge you to please stay home, practice social distancing, and wash your hands often. While you're home, stay connected with Sports 56. Turn us on your radio, phone, computer, or smart speaker and stay up to date and connected. This is a tough time for everyone, but we will get through it if we all do our part. Stay safe, stay healthy, and stay connected with Sports 56 and sports56whbq.com.
You already know you can listen to Sports 56, 96.1 and 87.7 anywhere with the Sports 56 app or at sports56whbq.com. But you can also watch live video of all of our shows on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and Periscope. Don't miss out on anything. Stay in touch with Sports 56, 96.1 and 87.7 on social media. Welcome back to Sports 56 Mornings with Peter Edmiston and C.J. Hurt. This hour is brought to you by Mid-South Power Distributors. Here once again are Peter and C.J.
Thank you for listening to Sports 56 Mornings. Peter and C.J. will be right with you. Your listenership will be included in the order in which it was received.
Don't forget that you can now do everything online. Visit us at www.parmesan.com.
You can get our show on the app as well. Find it in your app store. Search Sports 56 WHBQ. Hey, did you know that Sports 56 WHBQ has a website? That's right, sports56whbq.com. You can check that out too. See, it's fun. Once you start doing it, it's very fun. Parmesan, ladies and gentlemen. CJ. Parmesan.
Yeah. You know, you get the Parmesan. Sometimes it's got that aluminum little top thing.
Well, if you were British, I'd go with that. Aluminium. That's how they say it. Yeah, it's even how they spell it. But they don't spell Parmesan. Parmesan. That's how this works, CJ.
You say potato, I say Parmesan. Like,
that would be like you say potato, I say patata.
Like, what?
Potato. Like, no one says that.
People say it. It's a thing. I'm not just making it up. Pretty sure I'm not.
You could say Parmesan or, Parmesan. I would allow that. You cannot, and then under any circumstances, say Parmesan.
If you can say Parmesan, I can say Parmesan. It's the same sound.
No. You can't. No one has ever said that.
Everybody has said it. You just don't know anybody who has.
67129. Has anyone ever said Parmesan before? Zach. Well, whatever. Zach doesn't even.
It's Parmesan. What?
Thank you. It's Parmesan. Like, what are we doing?
You gonna side with the cheat day salad, dude?
Like we have Parmesan at the house.
Yeah.
Well, I got Parmesan at my house, so
you're shopping at a weird place. I don't know where you're shopping, but
at the grocery store, at the grocery.
Yeah. The
grockery?
The grockery?
Yes, at the grockery store.
The grockery store?
Yes.
Well, we talked about the difficulty of coming back. Blake Snell, Tampa Bay Rays ace pitcher, and I'm sure you know all about him. I can't wait for your breakdown of Snell's game and what he can bring to the table. But what he was bringing to the table was some heat, and not the kind that he was throwing. He was bringing a little verbal heat on Twitch last night. He was answering questions on his Twitch channel. And he said that he wasn't into this new proposal. He wasn't into this whole thing. He said, "Y'all got to understand, man. For me to take a pay cut is not happening because the risk is through the roof. It's a shorter season, less pay. No, I got to get my money. I'm not playing unless I get mine. Okay, and that's just the way it is for me. Like, I'm sorry you guys think differently, but the risk is way the hell higher, and the amount of money I'm making is way lower. Why would I think about doing that?" He said, "Bro, I'm risking my life." What do you mean it should not be a thing? It should 100% be a thing. If I'm gonna play, I should be getting the money I signed to be getting paid. I should not be getting half of what I'm getting paid because the season's cut in half on top of a 33% cut of the half that's already there. So I'm really getting like 25%. We're getting into Scott Steiner territory here.
Man,
if we're not
working
careful.
He's working it, boy. He's
you
doing
got a
some
75% chance of what then a 61. So it says 141 and 2/3% chance. I'm not doing this. Is what I'm saying. What do you think about Blake Snell's?
He's 100% correct, and ain't nobody in baseball.
What's that percentage again?
Huh?
100%?
100%. He's 100%
75%
correct.
on top of the 45% on.
Yeah, no, he's
I think
right.
he's 141 and 2/3%. Right?
Oh, okay. Either way it goes, the man is right. When baseball player wages haven't gone up, and when baseball has started to make money, like the owners have seen unprecedented growth in the sport financially, they haven't then passed that money down to the players. So now, when they got their backs up against the wall, why would the players do anything to pass savings to the owners? Like, that's not how this works. And everything was cool. They had agreed right at the start of the pandemic to a prorated salary. And that makes sense. And in a sport that does not have a salary cap and will probably never have a salary cap, if you then say, hey, we're going to tie the money that you make into how much money we can make as owners, that you are enforcing a de facto salary cap. So I get it, and he's right. The risk is through the roof. We talked about the issues, not only the issues with the lung scarring, but the clotting and other things that are going on as well with this. He is right. He is risking his life out there on the field for already less money. Why would he make that even less right now?
Mm-hmm. Well, and that's why this is going to be a really difficult challenge because, I think people's levels of risk are different, but there's no compelling reason, at least, why he should take more risk than he otherwise would for less money. That doesn't make a whole lot of sense for anybody, whatever your job is. That doesn't make any sense. And so if you have the opportunity not to do that, which at this point he does because he has a strong union, then that makes perfect sense. You would absolutely want to avoid doing that. So I completely get where he's coming from and agree with him that's the way that he needs to be thinking about this. And I think the people's desire for sports and all that stuff is great. I mean, we all want to see sports back, but at what cost, at what risk level to the players? It isn't fair just to send them out in as sort of lab rats and experiment and let's see what happens. Hey, let's throw this thing, let's put this bubble up and let's just see what happens in this thing. It ain't, we got enough of those going on as it is. Last night, Wisconsin, the Supreme Court in Wisconsin overturned the stay-at-home order on a very partisan vote, and within hours, there were several bars just packed with people. You know, people don't have a real good feel for the risk tolerance in this thing, and so, you know, people that don't want to have to do that shouldn't be forced to do that. It really should be up to them, and certainly shouldn't be forced to do it for less money. Up next, hour number 2, and when we begin hour number 2, we'll talk to Dr. Reginald Coopwood, the president and CEO of Regional One Health. We'll talk about how things look for his group and what he thinks about what's happening here locally. We'll do that next when we continue here. Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 96.1, 87.7.
I know the sweetest thing in Memphis, and I know it's been around for 115 years. You know, I'm talking about Dinstall's, and it's time to stock up heavy on Cashew Crunch, Heavenly Crunch, Turtlettes, all of your favorite Dinstall's treats. So easy to get. The sweetest thing in Memphis, all you have to do is head to Laurelwood or head to Germantown and Poplar right across from the hospital, or go where they make the candies. That's on Pleasant View. There's nothing that says Memphis better than Cashew Crunch with that little tinge of coconut, or the Turtlettes. Let's face it, there's nothing better than Dinstall's chocolate. That's the mainstay of all candies, isn't it? Milk chocolate, although their dark chocolate is pretty darn good. And if you get the peppermint with the dark chocolate and put it in the freezer, you're going to love it. So many ways to love Dinstall's. Stock up heavy on all of your favorite Dinstall's treats. 115 years of making Memphis oh so sweet.
State Farm knows we're all living a new normal. Many of us are staying at home. Living rooms are now offices and schools. Our world is suddenly different. But one thing remains the same. State Farm is there. To any of our customers currently facing financial burdens, call your State Farm agent or go to statefarm.com, because we're here to help make this new normal feel just a little more normal. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Attention doctors, nurses, law enforcement, firefighters, and EMT personnel. Infinity of Memphis wants to show their gratitude for what you've done and for what you do for our community. Right now, you can get your personal vehicle a mobile super synthetic or Mobile One oil and filter change for half price. That's only $32.50 or $49.99 respectively. Infinity of Memphis will also wash your car for free. Visit infinityofmemphis.com now to schedule your service. ID is required.
For 95 years, Saya LTL Freight has hit the road to deliver the goods that keep businesses and communities moving. Now, in this uncertain time, we won't stop going that extra mile, because at the end of the day, we are all in this together for the long haul. Saya LTL Freight, driving stability, safety, support, and strength. Visit Saya.com. That's SAIA.com.
We are Real Sports Talk. Sports 56, 96.1, and 87.7. Available on your radio dial at 560 AM, 96.1 FM, and 87.7 FM. As well as online around the world at sports56whbq.com. Take us with you everywhere on your phone or tablet by downloading the Sports 56 app. And at home, tell Google or Alexa to play Sports 56. Wherever you are, stay tuned to Real Sports Talk. Sports 56, 96.1, and 87.7.
Hi, I'm Troy Fiveash, owner of Fiveash Roofing. Can anyone explain to me why anyone would care how I measure your roof? We have all heard about measuring your roof from outer space. Well, to be honest, there are aerial pictures that are taken every 4 years that can be used to measure a building, but it's not from outer space. Besides, no one, and I mean no one, can tell you what's wrong with your roof or even if you need one by using pictures that might be 4 years old. If you would rather do business with a family-owned and operated business with a lifelong tie to Memphis that refuses to mislead or use gimmicks, please give me a call. Best products, best warranties, and the best customer service we know how to provide. Fiveash Roofing, proud partner of the Memphis Tigers and the official roofer of the Memphis Tigers home team. Fiveash Roofing, fair, honest, and ethical. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
Fiveash Roofing is what we do. We're here for you.
We are Sports 56 WHBQ Memphis, WIVG-FM Tunica Memphis, and WPG-FLP Memphis, Flynn Broadcasting Stations. Welcome back to Sports 56 Mornings with Peter Edmiston and CJ Hurt. Here once again are Peter and CJ.
Welcome back. Hour number 2 underway right here on Sports 56 Mornings with Peter and CJ.
Hour number 2.
Did I say hour number 1?
No, I'm just, this is smooth jazz, so I'm just kind of hour number 2.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Just kind of your backup guy.
Oh, okay. I thought I messed up.
I thought I messed up.
There we go. I like that.
I like that.
There it is. I always wanted a backup guy. That's great. Makes me feel good. Well, Sports 56 Mornings, Peter and CJ, we are delighted to be joined by Dr. Reginald Coopwood, the president and CEO of Regional One Health. He joins us right now. We're going to talk some about the coronavirus pandemic and what's going on here locally, specifically at Regional One and around the other hospitals in the area. Dr. Coopwood, thank you so much for joining us. How are you?
Oh, thanks for having me. I'm doing great. Good morning to you.
We can get started here with this question first. What new and unique challenges has this pandemic presented for you guys over at Regional One Health?
Well, the biggest challenge is for our health system and all health systems. It has been, we are open 24 hours a day. Our emergency rooms are open. People come. But we also do elective procedures for individuals who are fairly healthy but need, whether it's surgery or cardiac procedures. And we suspended those back in March due to the desire to reduce the use of personal protection equipment, masks, gloves, gowns. And so that has really put a huge dent in everybody's ability to make their projected revenues. So all the hospitals pretty much across the country are losing large amount of money just being prepared for the surge of individuals that may come if we have if the virus is not contained. So it's been it's what we needed to do in order to prepare. But as we open back up the community and open back up our hospitals, we're starting back doing our elective procedures, and that pretty much pays to run these hospitals across the country, and it's one of the main revenues for Regional One Health as well.
Has there been any issue in terms of the amount and availability of the personal and protective equipment from your standpoint?
It's a constant process that we do to try to secure. We spent quite a bit of money trying to procure, as we call it, PPE from our normal supply chain has been acquiring it, but a lot of the PPE was diverted to the hotspots, New York and Detroit, New Orleans. And so it became difficult domestically to identify and procure PPE. So we've had to partner with other entities. FedEx has been a big partner to try to procure PPE out of China. And so we've been able to get it. So we've been able to keep up with our PPE needs, but some of this procurement is at a little higher prices than we normally would have paid prior to the pandemic.
Dr. Coopwood, the novel coronavirus, it has that weird lag time where you may come in contact with it, but you won't know for 2 weeks, about 2 weeks. And with that being the case, the peak, where are we on that here locally? Have we hit that peak? Are we coming down? Or are we still ascending?
Well, when you look at the models, the original model, we were projected to peak around the 16th of April had nothing been done, meaning had we not put any measures in place to minimize the spread. So when Governor Lee and Mayor Strickland and Mayor Harris put the stay-at-home orders in place, we were able to not hit that peak in April. However, with reopening the city and restaurants and retail and our elective procedures, we're today or tomorrow is that kind of 2-week period of when we started open back up. And so we're all kind of holding our breath and hoping that even though we increased our mobility in our communities, that our citizens have continued to social distance and wear masks in public, so that at 2 weeks we won't see this huge spike. So we're really watching these numbers carefully over the next 48 to 72 hours, because that's kind of that 14-day period since we've opened up. If we can do this safely, I think we can prevent that huge surge that we all know is potentially out there if we aren't careful. But that's our preference, to be able to remain open and not have, because the government has said that if we get that spike, more people in the hospital, more people in ICUs, more people on the ventilators related to COVID-19, they'll potentially have to consider pulling back.
Are there concerns about folks who may have withheld themselves from not so much elective procedures? Obviously, those are, as you and other systems have put those on hold for the reasons that you've outlined. But people who may have needed medical situations, whether they be cardiac or whether it's an issue with diabetes or any number of different things that are serious, and that they would otherwise have gone to a hospital for. Are there folks that are avoiding that, or are there folks who have put those things off because of concerns about getting themselves sick, or just concerns about the system as a whole?
Well, that's an unknown, but it's a big concern. All of our emergency room visits, which is sometimes an indicator of how it's not the appropriate way to access the health system, but sometimes that's people's only way of accessing the health system. Our emergency room visits are down 30 to 40% from normal, and so either you make the determination that 30-40% of the people who used to come in didn't need to, or 30-40% of the people who were sick are putting off their accessing health care, having abdominal pain, weight loss, and just I don't want to die from coronavirus, so I'm just going to ignore it. So that's an unknown, and we'll see that as the stay-at-home things are lifted and people have a lot more confidence that going to the hospital won't make them sick. I hope that's not the case, but I do think that to some degree that is, because people aren't going to their regular doctor appointments. We're having a higher utilization of telehealth, which has been beneficial, and that allows people to stay comfortable in their home and speak with their doctor. But probably there is some degree of that postponement of my symptoms and ignoring my symptoms because of my fear of going to the hospital where I know there's individuals with coronavirus.
How has the pandemic, Dr. Coopwood, affected what Regional 1 offers in terms of classes, like the childbirthing classes and some of the other classes that you guys offer at the hospital?
Well, those things are, we've created this new normal, and we're not sure if this is a permanent normal or just an interim normal. But we created this new normal where we have tried to do things virtually. I don't think we've converted our prenatal classes to a Zoom class yet, but we're not able to bring healthy pregnant couples into a hospital and to give them birthing classes because of just the risk of them being there. We limit visitors for our patients in the ICU. We limit visitors for, used to when a woman was coming in to have her baby, the whole family showed up, and we limit, the visitor to one person with the laboring mom. All these things affected how we used to do things without even considering it. But now we have to consider the risk of just having the public in the hospital, whether it's the public bringing the coronavirus in unknowingly or the public being exposed to a coronavirus within the hospital. All of our kind of education classes have that used to be face to face. We have not had those really since March.
How would you characterize the cooperation between the public and private sectors, Dr. Kupoy? When I know you've been in contact with everyone from the mayors to other health system leaders to everyone else. This is an extremely challenging and very much unprecedented time, and you guys have had to do a lot of different things that I would imagine you would never have thought 6-8 months ago or years ago that would have even had to happen. How has the cooperation and the collective response been?
I think the collective response and cooperation has been extraordinary. We took the lead from Dr. Haushalter at the health department, who's really is responsible for the county's health and kind of management through this pandemic. Mayor Strickland and Mayor Harris stepped up to provide leadership from their roles to put things in place in the city and in the county to try to protect individuals. It has been a huge economic hit to retail and to restaurants and to areas that were considered non-essential, but there hasn't been the uproar and the protests that we've seen in a lot of other places across this country. And I think a lot of it has to do with I think our leadership at both mayor's offices and the health department got the buy-in from the private community that this is what's necessary in order to thwart the spread of this disease. So I take my hat off, and I think this is evidence of how Memphis has stepped up. And I think that people are ready to open back up, but I don't remember hearing any large numbers of people hollering and protesting and saying their rights have been stripped away because we're trying to protect the people. And so I think it's been done well, and that really comes, I think, from leadership and the health department and the mayors. I think have done that really well, and Governor Lee in communicating. Governor Lee's had multiple conversations with our chamber, and just to keep the private sector informed and involved has gone a long way as well to understand what his plans were, and the same with our local leaders.
We implemented the stay-at-home orders or the safer-at-home order and started physically distancing ourselves about 2 months ago to try and flatten the curve, give ourselves time and the medical staff time to get all the equipment they needed and to get prepared for a surge whenever a surge happens. The alternate care facility in the old commercial appeal building is almost over. I think it's supposed to be finished being with completion like later on this week, if I'm not mistaken. Do you expect us to need that building and need those beds?
So I think it's a great thing that FEMA and TEMA and all have put together. I'll speak personally. I hope we never use it, because if we use it or have to use it and open it up, it's because we've been overwhelmed in our health system, because we've had a significant return spike with the virus. And so personally, I hope it sits dormant forever. But in reality, it is, when you see what happened in New York, it caught New York early, and not to say New York wasn't prepared. I don't think they were prepared for what they ended up seeing. And so their alternate site hospital they put in their convention center wasn't up when they hit the kind of surge that they had. And so we are, I would say, once this thing opens, the alternate site hospital opens, then we are prepared. The hospitals have our strategies in place if we were to see a surge. And I think it's a good thing that it's here. I just personally hope it never opens, because if it opens, there's things that it means that none of us really want to see in this community.
We're all trying to figure out, too, as I know you guys are on the front lines of the stuff, we're all trying to figure out what the next step is. You sort of have a gentle, gradual reopening, but in order to be fully back to whatever normal would look like, we would need, in your mind, what would it take for us to be able to have the confidence as a society to be able to say, you know what, we're ready to kind of get back to the way things kind of were?
Because of the infectious nature of this virus, and because, like you say, it's a novel virus, we don't really know enough about it. The flu virus, influenza virus comes. We know the season that it's going to hit. It's going to hit between October and March. They have a fairly decent understanding of what the vaccine may need to look like, and a lot of years they hit it pretty well. Sometimes they miss in developing an influenza vaccine. And if that vaccine helps reduce a lot of the illness and death that we see from an influenza virus on an annual basis for those that take it. And so here we have a virus that just continues to go. We don't know if it's seasonal. We don't know if it'll die out in the summer and come back in the fall. There's so much unknown, and without a specific vaccine, we're always going to kind of be looking over our shoulder to see if coronavirus is creeping up from behind and overwhelming us with another tsunami of cases. So to have the confidence that we can fully get this country back functional is going to either be some strong evidence-based treatments, medication to create it into kind of a chronic disease that if you get it, you have the treatment for it. We don't have anything to prevent you from getting it, but we do have a treatment for it if you get it. Similar to like HIV today, they never really found a true preventive, but we have a lot of treatments to just make this a virus that you can live with. And so without a vaccine, a preventative measure, it's either prevent it or figure out how to treat it and reduce the mortality associated with individuals who contract the coronavirus. So short of either one of those happening, we're always going to be fearful, and we're going to see hot spots where large volumes of people are infected, and that 2 to 3% of the people who are infected with associated other comorbidities will die from this disease. And so if people are scrambling to find both cures and vaccine and preventive measures for this. And until we see that, I think will have a level of concern and probably not get back to full normalcy until that happens.
It's been as you mentioned, it's totally new, unprecedented. There's a lot that we don't know, and we're learning, more about it every day. And I know that a lot of these measures are sort of just to buy time so that we can learn more and we have more of an idea of what the medium-term and long-term outcomes look like for people who end up with this. Because there are some people that, seem to go through it without too much of a symptom, maybe never even really know that they've got it. But there are other people who have strange pulmonary reactions or some blood clotting or some other. We were finding all kinds of different things that seem to happen, and they're doing the serological studies to figure out who's got antibodies and all of that. I guess at this point, Dr. Coopwood, it really is just an information gathering exercise from as many different folks, because I know that we've never seen as much money and as many different people as we are seeing across the world on this thing, trying to plow in and get as much information as possible. Is that the situation now, just is trying to get as much good quality information as we can?
It is, and the unfortunate thing about unfortunate, however you look at it, from what angle you look at it, is that we learn from people who get infected. We learn from people who die. And without individuals getting real sick in the hospital, without individuals dying from this disease, we wouldn't know as much about this disease as we do today. And so, and science intention is to glean as much valuable information as it can with those individuals who have been infected, to learn from those individuals who got the virus but weren't. It didn't have significant symptoms, learn from what their immune system did differently from those who were otherwise healthy, got the virus, and within 10 days were dead. And so this is how we learned really from the beginning of medicine, was we learned from people who got sick and the people who died. And this is no different. It's the 2020 version of that, to whereas the disease went from Asia to Europe to the U.S., unfortunately, there's millions of people who have contracted the disease, and they provide good information, and many people who have died from the disease provide good information that will help the scientists and the providers to better treat the disease going forward. There's, when you talk about something you've never seen, then your initial treatments are just try to, let's give them all oxygen they can, because it's obviously a problem with the lungs. And now they're seeing the broader multi-system effects of this virus on individuals as they kind of stand back and kind of look and see what has happened. And so all of this helps everyone to be more informed. Those deaths are real to the families who experienced them. But they've been valuable in helping us try to figure out what's the right and best way to treat these diseases. You hear use this drug, the anti-malaria drug, that got a lot of press early on, and then you start doing a study, and you see that when you do it in a scientific way, that it didn't have the advantages that a couple anecdotal cases made people think it did. And then as we look at these other drugs that are showing some degree of efficacy, we can do it in a scientific way, so that when we say, hey, this drug is the drug that stops the virus, that prevents its multiplication within the individual, then we all can have some assurance that scientifically this is the way that this needs to be treated. And that's just how medicine works.
There does seem to be also that we've observed, I know there was a study done in Indiana that just came out yesterday afternoon, their antibody study, the largest one of its type, very randomized across all different races and ages and economic backgrounds and all that stuff.
And from their standpoint, they found antibodies in like 2.2% of white respondents, and like it was more than double in non-white respondents. Do we think, and that's been observed in terms of the morbidities, in terms of the death rates, in terms of all different. Do we think, Dr. Coopwood, there is a significant difference in how this is being observed within white and non-white communities?
Well, and I'm not the person to really expound on that because I haven't read that study. We do know that a higher percentage from of those infected and those that are dying is a higher percentage of Black and brown individuals who are succumbing to the disease, whether that's and depending on what this study that you referenced says, a lot of that was predicated on the fact that you had individuals who had a lot of comorbidities, high blood pressure, and obesity, heart disease, which is prevalent in the Black and brown communities within the United States, and that's what we really attributed to, as well as not as specific around social distancing in these communities. So you had a higher number of people who were infected. But when you look at Italy had a massive response and deaths from this disease, and that's a mostly non-African American community in most of those European countries. So I just don't know what is the difference in the immune response, and if we can get to the fact that there's truly a different immune response in whites and non-whites, that's good information to be able to try to figure out how to better treat it, and so that you don't have the big disparities in the numbers of individuals who die from the disease. All this is kind of evolving in real time, but the disparity in the mortality is real because the numbers are showing it, and we just have to make sure, like you all are doing, is trying to educate our public to take the social distancing seriously, take the wearing the mask in public serious, as uncomfortable as they are, and washing our hands and being aware of our surroundings in areas where, people take my credit card to swipe it, and I put it in my pocket and wipe it down with hand sanitizer and get in my car because I don't know what was on that person's hand, but they put it they coughed in their hand and put it on my credit card, and I put the credit card back in my wallet, and I picked the credit card out for another thing, and I wiped my face. I've received it from someone I have no clue who or where. So it's just being vigilant in making sure that you do the things that protect yourself and protect your family. I'm so aware when I go to different stores, it's kind of scary how we all put our hand on the door to go in.
Yep.
Who knew who went in before us? And if we're not vigilant in making sure that we keep our hands washed, we'll potentially inadvertently pick it up. And so that's really what I think is our best defense, is to do things that we know that works. And that's the social distance. I'm getting a small room with 10 people, and not much sports going on in the world, but that we would be arguing over who's the best between Kobe and LeBron, and putting droplets in the air for everyone to share. And so those are kind of things that we have to be aware of in our surroundings, that we step back from people, we wear our masks, and we do the things that prevent the spread of this disease. That we know we can do, and we don't have to wait on science to do some studies.
That is Dr. Reginald Coopwood, President and CEO of Regional One Health. Dr. Coopwood, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thanks, Dr. Coopwood.
It was my pleasure.
Dr. Coopwood, ladies and gentlemen.
lot of stuff to think about. Certainly, when it comes to this, and a lot of good information. And as he said, even in the medical community, there still is a daily information grabbing process and figuring out as much as you can, because we really, there's a lot we just don't know. Up next, we'll talk about things we do know, and things we do know about coming back, things we do know about sports returning. Dustin Starr coming up 9 o'clock. Still plenty more to come. Sports 56 Mornings, Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 96.1, 87.7.
Listen online anywhere, anytime at sports56whbq.com.
Hey, sports fans, you already know the Butcher Shop has been a great Memphis tradition since 1981, and it still is. The Butcher Shop is absolutely open for your takeout with curbside pickup or Grubhub delivery, because the Butcher Shop is still serving your favorite steaks, fish, and seafood. But now you can also pick them up raw and take them home to cook. You get the highest quality from the Butcher Shop and the comfort of home cooking. All wine and beer selections can be sold and picked up curbside as well. Plus, order curbside and pickup and receive 10% off your food order. And how about Burger Fridays? Treat your company to lunch, and the Butcher Shop will deliver Hamburger Friday any day of the week with all the fixins for just a minimum $250 order. The Butcher Shop is here for you, so don't worry about getting a great meal. The Butcher Shop has cooked or uncooked meals for curbside pickup or Grubhub delivery. Call 757-4244 or online at thebutchershop.com. The Butcher Shop at the Agri Center, Walnut Grove, and Germantown Parkway.
Hi, folks. Bob Burkheimer for Sunrise Buick GMC Truck. A lot has happened overnight, and just wanted to let you know we're open at Sunrise for all your automotive needs. Service, body shop, parts, and sales. Go online to sunrisememphis.com to schedule an appointment. Should you need a vehicle, we're offering 0% up to 84 months with deferred payments up to 120 days. You can shop online. We'll bring the car or truck to you. At Sunrise, we know you want to feel safe, so bring your car or truck to any Sunrise location, and we'll disinfect it at no charge. Sunrise, stress-free and safe. Covington Pike, Wolf Chase, and Collierville.
Every home has have-to-dos and probably some want-to-dos. The Home Depot can help you do both with the things you need to make things work a little better, or take care of something you've been meaning to do. Maybe do something to start summer. We have the low prices to make it all doable. Order online and get free delivery on orders over $45. Whatever you need to do or want to do, we can help you get it done. The Home Depot. How doers get more done. Some delivery exclusions apply.
Whether you're working from home or working on your fitness, you want what you're listening to be what you're listening to, right? Not what your roommates or family are listening to. Now is the perfect time to get a pair of premium wireless earbuds. Raycon is the way to go. Raycon start at about half the price of other premium brands on the market, and they sound just as amazing. Raycon's everyday E25 earbuds, the best model yet. You get 6 hours of playtime, seamless Bluetooth pairing, more bass, and a more compact design that gives you a comfortable noise isolating fit. It's great for conference calls, video chats, or binging on podcasts. I do that too. It was co-founded by Ray J, and celebrities like Cardi B and J.R. Smith have already given Raycons their seal of approval. Now's your turn. See what the hype's about. Get 15% off your order at buyraycon.com/herd. That's buyraycon.com/herd. 15% off. One more time. buyraycon.com/herd.
Geico knows there are many reasons why you ride. From the camaraderie of the other bikers, a band of brothers, always there for you, rain or shine, to the amazing savings you get with Geico on your motorcycle insurance and accessories coverage all year round. But for Bucky Hornhill, it was one reason in particular.
It was my helmet hair. I was born with helmet hair. I've tried to cut it a bunch of times, even buzzing it, but it immediately just goes back to helmet hair.
Geico Motorcycle. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more.
I'm John Conway with Conway Services. Do you have to add Freon to your air conditioner every summer? Good news, it's Super Tune-Up time at Conway Services. We'll come out and perform our exclusive 16-point Energy Saver Super Tune-Up on your air conditioning system for only $69 with a Freon leak check. That's right, Conway Services' exclusive 16-point Energy Saver Super Tune-Up for only $69 with a Freon leak check. We'll remove years of dirt, grime, and leaves from your air conditioning system. It's like taking your air conditioner to a car wash, all for only $69. If you have an air conditioner that leaks Freon every year, with Conway Services Super Tune-Up, we'll include a leak check at no charge. If that's not enough, we'll treat your unit with a special Teflon coating to help protect against the hot Memphis sun. So call Conway Services, the Mid-South's premier heating, cooling, plumbing, and electric service company at 384-3511. Call this week and we'll perform your Super Tune-Up for only $57.
Call
384-3511. Conway Services. Call Conway today.
Got something you want to get off your chest?
You better have a backup plan.
Want to join the conversation?
Someone needs to tell him he has to grow up.
Join us on the First Bank phone lines at 360-8255 or the First Bank text line at 67129. Welcome back to Sports 56 Mornings with Peter Edmiston and CJ Hurt. Here once again are Peter and CJ.
Got a text on the First Bank text line, Peter.
Okay.
67129.
Is it about smooth jazz? Because that's what I'm feeling right now.
No, it is not about smooth jazz. Texter says, I said Parmesan on a date once and was so embarrassed.
As you should be.
Parmesan.
That was probably just the one date. Yeah, I would imagine that was it on that. That was a one and done situation right there.
I say Parmesan to this. I got married, so you just got to find somebody who will love you through your Parmesan.
Your wife, you went with Parmesan?
Yeah.
She didn't say like, hey, CJ, that's not a thing.
She tried to, but no. My house, my rules is Parmesan.
Okay. Well, here we talk about how strange it can be, how different things are going to be. Here's a difference. Are you ready for this one? This is gonna be something right here. Joe Buck talked to Andy Cohen on Sirius XM and said it's pretty much a done deal that Fox Sports is going to pump crowd noise into its NFL broadcasts. That they're going to have virtual fans. He said it's pretty much a done deal. I think whoever's going to be at that control is going to have to be really good at their job and be realistic with how a crowd would react depending on what just happened on the field. So it's really important. And then on top of that, they're looking at ways to put virtual fans in the stands so that when you see a wide shot, it looks like the stadium is jam-packed, and in fact, it'll be empty.
What?
So we're doing this Madden style?
We're doing this Madden, WWE style and Madden style. WWE, for years, we'll talk to Dustin Starr about this coming up in a few minutes, but for years, wrestling has pumped crowd noise into events to generate the kind of reactions that they would want. If you watch those Saturday morning shows back in the old days, I mean, it was pretty evident the crowd's just sitting there like, and then the crowds and they're on the broadcast, it's like, yeah, woo, Hulkster. And everyone's like, just kind of sitting there. So they've been pumping crowd noise in for years. I mean, NBA teams pump crowd noise in, some more than others. So they do that in the arena to kind of generate but in terms of virtual fans and virtual crowd noise,
that's the part. The virtual fans. Like, let's go all the way with it. Don't just have people fans there. Let's get some ogres and some trolls up in this thing too.
Yeah, why not dinosaurs?
Let's get a brontosaurus, a stegosaurus, a triceratops in there. Like
Mario and Luigi just like walking around back there.
The entire Smash Bros. Crew. Mm-hmm. Let's get that going. What's your mascot? Have a bunch of whatever it is your mascot is in the stands also. You're the Bengals? Mm-hmm. Let's get all of the Tigers that we can think of in there. Tony, Tigger, whoever. Let's get them all in there. Let's do it.
I agree.
You're in Nashville playing in the Titan Stadium. Let's get all of the Greek and Roman gods in there. Let's go. Look at Zeus in the stand sitting next to Hera. Sitting next to one of Zeus's side pieces. Let's get that going. I'm here for that.
So is everybody doing the same animation? Like you play Madden, everybody's like boo, just collectively.
You got to customize it, man.
No, we've come a long way in terms of the crowd reactions in these video games. Now, it used to be just a big pixel glop, and then we'd have like a few people like sort of cardboard cutouts of. Now, like you can actually have there's legit crowds in these games. Like they're all 3D. So
isn't Rob Fisher in one of the crowds in one of the 2Ks?
Probably.
I think.
I want to say.
I think Fisher told that story. I'm pretty sure Fisher's in the crowd.
Yep. So you could have all kinds of different folks in the crowd, but this is like I mean, this is so stupid. I mean, it really is. Like, it's just very stupid.
Yes.
Like, I know we want to do, normal things. I know it wants to sound normal, but when you, it would, if it looks bad, it's going to be stupid. Like, if the crowd looks bad being there, it's going to be stupid. If the crowd looks good, it's going to be stupid because it's going to be just weird and strange and odd that you would have this. No, I don't like this at all. I don't know what we're doing here. And it's only it would only work for like the NFL and Fox because they spend so much money on the broadcast. Like your average broadcast is not going to have the money to, like a regular like a Grizzly game on Fox Sports Southeast is not going to be able to say, hey, let's go ahead and fire this thing off. Let's put these fans in. They're not going to have that kind of money. It ain't going to work like that.
Let's get Cletus in the stands. Yes, it's stupid. But I want to see Cletus somewhere in the stands. Just a bunch of Cletuses just all around on this Fox broadcast. Yes, lean into it. It is a stupid idea. It's silly. It is ridiculous. But if you do it in a fun and creative way, I think we'll rock with it.
I mean, you have to rock. First of all, you're going to rock with it, whatever. Like, it doesn't matter.
True.
It doesn't matter what happens. You're gonna rock with anything because you want some kind of actual, sporting stuff. So that's fine. I don't know, man. Why can't we just let it happen, just like normal? Just like
because it's not
play the game,
normal
and
situation.
No, but just play the game and just whatever. Like I mean, like these UFC fights. There was another one last night, and you can hear them having like conversations in the ring. Like that's kind of interesting. Like that's cool. It's different, but you can hear them having discussions.
I would rather hear the calls on the field because with nobody there, we could hear not only the calls and the plays, but also the trash talking that would take place from then on. So we could hear, like, did Mason really say what we think Mason said to Myles Garrett? Did he really say that? No? Okay. We could hear that pop off. But if you're going to pump in crowd noise and pump in and do fake fans, have fun with it, be creative with it at least. Otherwise, it is, what are you doing it for? If you're not going to be creative, if you're not going to be unorthodox with the people and the animals and the mythological creatures that you have the potential to put in the stands, what are you doing it for? Don't just give me a bunch of people sitting there. I don't want to see that. No.
Why don't we just go one step further and have the mythological creatures just fight on the field and forget the players?
Yo, the Ravens have this giant raven. Have you seen the giant raven that flies over the field, the virtual raven?
Mm-hmm.
Like, give me that. Yeah.
Yeah, they got virtual lions at these soccer stadiums that are like prowling on the top of the
I haven't seen those.
It's very exciting. Why do we even have these sports? Why don't we just have virtual sports and be done with it? We don't even need to bring players back.
I mean, we got esports. I don't.
No, but this would be like the full like simulations, like on the field simulation of not like a video game. You're watching a simulation of the game.
Okay.
You're not playing the game
with actual players.
You're with watching. You're just watching. You have the simulated characteristics of those players, and you put them out there in a simulated form, and you watch what the simulation of the players, what it says happens. That's it.
Yeah, that's not happening.
Again, what would be the point of that if you're not going to just turn it up some? Like, let this player has the heart of a lion. Well, let's let him transform into an actual lion on the field and see what happens next.
No. I mean, well, that could be one thing. I'm fine with that on one channel. But then on the other channel, have like a regular.
Like on Animal Planet, that would be the football game on. Okay.
Fine. Yeah, it's fine. You could. I mean, since we're doing it like this, you could have it. But see, I like those kinds of sports games. Where my favorite game is a soccer game where you're just the manager. You don't play the game. You just set them up, and you have them in a particular style, and you have them play in the way that you want to play. But you don't actually play as the player. You're not controlling the player. They do their thing. You just got to coach them up. If you're not, if they suck, it's on you because you gotta teach them. And sometimes they do, and sometimes you got to yank them, and you got to talk to them afterwards. You got to say, look, get it together. So that's what I'm talking about. Simulate their characteristics, but then let that actually, and then just kind of see what plays out. I think that's a.
Is that franchise mode in FIFA?
Yeah, it's like a franchise mode, except
I know Madden does that like GM mode.
Yeah, there's like a GM mode. It's like GM mode. Yeah, so we're talking like GM mode, except you're just watching the whole thing unfold. I don't know, man. I guess it's fine, I suppose, to try it. It sounds stupid. I'll just say.
Very.
I mean, maybe it's not. Maybe it'll look great. Maybe it'll be awesome. But it sounds stupid to me.
By the way, your boy is a Hall of Fame GM in Madden. When it comes to running a franchise,
really, you got it. You got it all under control.
Yeah. Oh, we flipping players for picks, trading up in the first round, getting impact players, signing our young players to longer contracts, and then flipping the old players for more picks. I mean, it's a system going on, man.
No, see, you got to take it to the next level, though. I was in a league for years, an NBA simulation league, where it wasn't a fantasy league because we didn't base it off of what happened in real life. We had a computer simulation, so you'd have these players simulated with their simulated characteristics, and then we'd have to each person we had 30 actual GMs, actual people around the world, and you'd have to negotiate. You have to negotiate deals, collective bargaining agreement. You have everything that has to go in a certain. It taught me more about actual negotiations than anything because you have to genuinely negotiate out every detail, pick protections, whatever it is. And yeah, it was winning a title. I won 9 titles, by the way. So I'm like Phil Jackson of that league, so I don't know if you want to get involved with your boy here, but 9 championships, pretty good. Had a 5-peat and a 4-peat. So
a what and a what?
A 5-peat and a 4-peat.
Good Lord.
Yeah, pretty dominant, but that's okay. Managed to acquire vintage Penny Hardaway. I don't want to talk about it. It's a long story. It's just but just suffice to say that we did well in the trade markets. We did well. We built a nice team. I'm very proud of that group we put together. So yeah, that's why if you wonder why is Peter's advice so good on GMing, and it's just only because I'm a 9-time NBA simulation league champion. That's all. So
I didn't know. Okay.
So hopefully that adds a little more, credibility to my comments about the collective bargaining agreement and all that stuff. It should, frankly. I need rings. I need to actually get rings for those things.
Get virtual rings.
I can show up like Belichick and just put those in the camera, just constantly. Grr, take that right there. Well, up next, we have to deal with real sports at some point, don't we?
I hope so.
Sure.
Maybe. I hope so.
Are
we going to? Kinda? Maybe.
I hope.
Up next we will, because there's you have some things you got to do first, but maybe we're getting a little closer. We'll see. When we return to Sports 56 Mornings, Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 96.1 87.7.
Broadcasting from the Family Leisure Studio, we are Sports 56, 96.1 and 87.7.
Attention doctors, nurses, law enforcement, firefighters, and EMT personnel. Infinity of Memphis wants to show their gratitude for what you've done and for what you do for our community. Right now, you can get your personal vehicle a mobile super synthetic or Mobile One oil and filter change for half price. That's only $32.50 or $49.99 respectively. Infinity of Memphis will also wash your car for free. Visit infinityofmemphis.com now to schedule your service. ID is required.
Family Leisure's here to make staying at home more enjoyable for you and your family this summer. Complete pool packages starting at $15.99. 24-foot pools only $19.99. 4-person spas starting at $19.99. Swim spas starting at under $10,000. We are offering contactless purchasing, deliveries, and curbside pickup. Give us a call to schedule an appointment or to place an order. Stay safe with Family Leisure.
Every home has have-to-dos and probably some want-to-dos. The Home Depot can help you do both with the things you need to make things work a little better, or take care of something you've been meaning to do. Maybe do something to start summer. We have the low prices to make it all doable. Order online and get free delivery on orders over $45. Whatever you need to do or want to do, we can help you get it done. The Home Depot. How doers get more done. Some delivery exclusions apply.
Hi, everybody, The Herd. Over 50 years ago, 2 men with a passion for motorsport and engineering began building race engines in an old abandoned mill. They saw an opportunity on every wide open road and an invitation in every curve. It was a chance to push the envelope, break all the rules. It was a chance to prove that a 2-ton family sedan could have the performance to compete in a 24-hour track race. But shocking the competition and building a reputation, it wasn't enough. Their vision was to expand upon the excellence they had created. This engineering company continued to validate their belief by putting race car engines in luxury sedans and proceeded to stun the elite in world motor racing by winning and winning and winning. We may never truly understand what drives Mercedes-AMG to break barriers, along with every record in the book, but here's to allowing us to enjoy the results. Learn more at mbusa.com/AMG. Mercedes-AMG. Driving performance.
Blood and plasma donations are more important than ever. People all around the world still depend on the medicine your plasma helps make. That's why Interstate Blood Bank and Plasma Biological Services are open and will remain open for our donors. The United States government has declared blood and plasma donation as a critical infrastructure industry. That means healthy donors are allowed to travel to and from donation centers regardless of any stay-at-home mandates in your area. We need you to keep donating so that we can continue to manufacture these life-saving medicines. We understand that you may be concerned about COVID-19. The health and safety of our donors and our employees remain a top priority. To limit the spread of the virus, we're taking additional measures to ensure our centers are safe and clean. Donating now is more important than ever, but please do not come to the center to donate if you are not feeling well or have a sore throat, fever, cough, or shortness of breath. We are doing our part so that you can do yours. Come donate today at one of our IBBI or PBS across the Memphis area.
Welcome back to Sports 56 Mornings with Peter Edmiston and CJ Hertz. Here once again are Peter and CJ.
While you're on hold, please note that the correct pronunciation is Parmesan, not Parmesan. Thank you. Welcome back. Sports 56 Mornings. Peter and Parmesan with you here.
Yes.
So, here's some, as it always does, CJ, it always comes down to money. You know what I mean? All this stuff is money, really. I mean, you know, health is obviously a big part of it too, but there's a major money issue that's brewing. We talked about Blake Snell and the Major League Baseball players and where they're talking about when it comes to their comeback. The NBA is now grappling with what their money is going to look like because based on the dramatic decline in the revenues that are expected, there's going to be an enormous. Now, if they were to take the collective bargaining agreement at its word, it's the salary cap and tax and everything that's associated with that is based on the revenues of the league, and then there's a formula that comes off of basketball-related income. Basketball-related income was expected to be $8 billion. Now it's going to decrease by potentially as much as $2 billion. So that's a 25% haircut on that, which technically would then take the salary cap that was supposed to be $115 million, and drop to $95 million. Now, what does that mean? Well, that means that there's a lot of players who have extensions and things that are tied to that figure. When a player signs a max contract, it isn't max, like there's not a specific money, it's a percentage of the cap in the year in which it's done. So that all of a sudden that player would see their salary reduced by 25%. A huge drop off for somebody making, $30 million. All of a sudden now you're making 24. $6 million is nothing to sneeze at. But even more so than that, you're talking about planning the rest of the year and all these other free agents who are going to be free agents in 2020. Now the market is not what it was. There's a lot of teams who won't have money at all to even consider. And a lot of the mid-tier free agents especially are going to get priced right out of the market. So the NBA's got to figure this thing out, CJ, because between this year and then next year too, if fans don't come back, that's 40% of league revenue that's tied into fans. Now you're talking about another drop. Like, this could be a major situation. They're going to have to figure this out. They can't just let this cap drop off completely Because if they do, it's going to really unfairly hurt those players that are in free agency this year, those players that have contracts tied to this year, that kind of stuff. I think you're going to have to see some creative proposals, because this is a potential financial nightmare for a lot of players.
Could we see the league allow teams to compensate players in another sort of way? I'm thinking of like Kawhi Leonard. I can't remember if it was the Clippers or whom it was that was trying to get like the rights to the claw logo to give to Kawhi, or see something like that, or see teams allow you stake in like the team, some sort of stock or something like that. Could we see teams try and get creative in that sort of a way to try and compensate players while they try and make do with the change in revenue?
I would say no, because I think once you open that can of worms, it's very difficult to close it. And there are lots of teams that would find lots of different ways, and that would be an unfair advantage for bigger market teams, because there are much more opportunities away from the court that they could use to compensate players. I think there's lots of reasons why that would not work. I think they're going to have to find a way to reshape the collective bargaining agreement to kind of allow for this sort of thing. They're going to have to sort of retrofit it to make it work. There's lots of ways they could do it. I don't know how they're going to actually do it, but it's, one of those things we keep talking about, returning to action is not as simple as just returning. Like there's, how do you set up the postseason? How do you set up the off season, draft, free agency? There's so many things in the NBA that were just up in the air right now, because you just have absolutely no idea how it's going to go. And this is one of them. They're going to have to figure that out, because I don't think they can just let the cap drop by 25% and unfairly hurt those players. It's kind of the opposite of what happened in 2016 when the cap went up sharply and allowed so many teams to have cap room that the Golden State Warriors could sign Kevin Durant outright because they had the cap room to do it. I don't think they want the opposite of that to happen this year, where you see teams really struggling because they're allowing the thing to just naturally happen. There'll be something will change. I just don't exactly know how they're going to do it just yet. I don't think they do either. Up next, Dustin Starr. Going to talk about a real sport, wrestling. That's the one, baby. That's my bread and butter. That's what I'm into. We're gonna talk about that with Starr. Some exciting news in the new game and in the current wrestling game, and also, of course, some good stuff. We always like to talk old school with Starr, so we'll do that all when we return. Hour number 3 on the way. Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 96.1, 87.7.
The folks at Homer Skelton Hyundai want to say thank you. Thank you, Memphis, for another spectacular year. They set records, but I can understand why. You think about the product. Where else do you get a 10-year, 100,000-mile limited powertrain warranty? That's what you get on every new car at Homer Skelton Hyundai. Oh, and thank you again for the 11th straight year, the #1 certified pre-owned car dealership in all of Memphis. It starts with that product, but then it goes to the shopper assurance. Where else do you go where you get transparent pricing, flexible test drive, take the car for a couple of days if you want, streamlined buying process? You're not going to be there all day, in and out. And then, and I have not seen this anywhere else, the 3-day worry-free exchange. You buy a new car, if you've got any buyer's remorse, you've got 3 days to change your mind. Just get on Lamar, take it into Mississippi, the first exit's Craft Road, turn left, and go see Chris True and all the gang at Homer Skelton Hyundai.
Hey, sports fans, you already know the Butcher Shop has been a great Memphis tradition since 1981, and it still is. The Butcher Shop is absolutely open for your takeout with curbside pickup or Grubhub delivery, because the Butcher Shop is still serving your favorite steaks, fish, and seafood. But now you can also pick them up raw and take them home to cook. You get the highest quality from the Butcher Shop and the comfort of home cooking. All wine and beer selections can be sold and picked up curbside as well. Plus, order curbside and pickup and receive 10% off your food order. And how about Burger Fridays? Treat your company to lunch, and the Butcher Shop will deliver Hamburger Friday any day of the week with all the fixins for just a minimum $250 order. The Butcher Shop is here for you, so don't worry about getting a great meal. The Butcher Shop has cooked or uncooked meals for curbside pickup or Grubhub delivery. Call 757-4244 or online at thebutchershop.com. The Butcher Shop at the Agri Center, Walnut Grove, and Germantown Parkway.
State Farm knows we're all living a new normal. Many of us are staying at home. Living rooms are now offices and schools. Our world is suddenly different. But one thing remains the same. State Farm is there. To any of our customers currently facing financial burdens, call your State Farm agent or go to statefarm.com because we're here to help make this new normal feel just a little more normal. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
You already know you can listen to Sports 56, 96.1 and 87.7 anywhere with the Sports 56 app or at sports56whbq.com. But you can also watch live video of all of our shows on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and Periscope. Don't miss out on anything. Stay in touch with Sports 56, 96.1 and 87.7 on social media.
DeSoto Auto Sales specializes in late model cars with low mileage. They have the highest standards in the car industry. All of their cars are test driven, checked out from head to toe. Unlimited inventory, every make and model. And if it's not on the lot, they'll find it for you. Walk in the door of DeSoto Auto Sales, 5704 Goodman Road. Within 45 minutes, you can test your car, get credit approval, and finish paperwork within an hour. No shortcuts at DeSoto Auto Sales. Kind, courteous employees, a down-home environment. DeSoto Auto Sales cares about your time. Lowest prices in a 350-mile radius. We're living in a world today where time does matter. Visit them online. Check out their referrals. DeSotoAutosales.com. Very proud to serve DeSoto County and other surrounding areas. DeSoto Auto Sales, 5704 Goodman Road. Call 662-890-7184. 662-890-7184. Come on down to DeSoto Auto Sales.
We are Sports 56 WHBQ Memphis, WIVG-FM Tunica Memphis, and WPG-FLP Memphis, Flynn Broadcasting Stations. Welcome back to Sports 56 Mornings with Peter Edmiston and CJ Hurt. This hour is brought to you by Acura Memphis. Here once again are Peter and CJ.
I cut the grass yesterday and listened to crunk music while I did so.
Yeah.
I had to. After our conversation.
That helps.
Very much.
It helps to,
you
got to get angry.
Yeah, very angry at the grass.
What? Grass? What?
That blade over there, that blade ain't ish.
LAWNMOER, yeah, Parkway. All right. Welcome back. It is Sports 56 Mornings. Peter and CJ with you. And as we begin hour number 3 on a Thursday, it is a great privilege to bring on our pal. He is fully and completely 5 stars. Not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4. 5-star Dustin Starr, to be precise.
Yeah. Good morning, guys. How are you? I laid the smackdown on my lawn, too.
Ooh.
Everybody giving it to the lawn.
Dropping the people's
what had happened was is when all of this happened and, the pandemic and everything, my Maria started making me cut the grass so I'd have something to do. So I feel you. I've been cutting the grass.
I mean, are you we got like a push mower here? I mean, you got plenty. You do plenty of cardio. You stay in good shape. So I'm not really worried about your cardio so much. But are you out there with the push mower, or you got like a riding mower and a couple of a big beer hat on? What are we looking like out there?
Beer hat. We actually I use it as part of my cardio. Usually I'll do some cardio on the treadmill and then come downstairs and I actually do it as part of my cardio, just so it feels like I'm exercising too. And my Chihuahuas, they really appreciate it because when it gets a little bit high, they don't even want to go out in the yard.
So wait, you say
they're
you're
really
doing
small
it as part of your cardio. Like, are you doing lunge walks as you cut the grass?
No.
Like, what is going on here?
I just try to keep the pace up and I push mow, or else I'd probably have a riding mower or something. But literally, my thought process was like, all right, if I'm going to have to cut the grass, I might as well exercise while I'm doing it. And so then that's why I got the push mower. It doesn't have like the assisted push or anything like that.
See, I had the old school for a long time. My yard, I just couldn't. It wouldn't work so much with my yard eventually. But I had the one that was non-motorized, like the little old school.
Oh, what?
Just the
Are you serious?
Yeah, and that thing's a workout. Now let me tell you, you go that thing. You got to actually you got to generate the power to turn that thing. That's a legit workout, especially if you got some hills. And oh man, but the problem is you have to have a certain. If your yard is kind of uneven and bumpy, or if you got certain patches that are not as good as if you have like a nice clean flat lawn, then it's no problem and you can do it and it's nice. It's a good little bonus to your workout. But if you got a bunch of hill, it just becomes it's tough. It's not that easy. So I was like, forget this. This is just it's more trouble.
No wonder your calves are so big.
Oh yeah, my calves are unbelievable. That is true. I got some pretty world class calves. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Hey, those are genetic too, man. I know a lot of bodybuilders, and myself included, that have trained calves like crazy, and for years and years and years, and can't get them to grow. So
you can borrow
good feather in your cap.
If you need a calf double, you
a calf double.
You could be you can be my body double, like from knees up, and I'll be your body double from calf from knees down. How about that?
There we go.
Deal. There's the deal right there. We'll make this thing work. There was a cool deal this week in the WWE. We had Becky Lynch announcing her pregnancy mid ring, which that's a first for me in a wrestling broadcast.
That definitely is the very first time ever. I was telling Maria before the news broke that I thought that this was what was going to happen, because they were announcing this big news. And then they said that Becky Lynch was going to make a major announcement regarding her career. So it's like, what could it be? She's not injured. There's not a big, huge event coming up, really, because we can't have an audience. So what would it be? And so that was my guess. And they tiptoed around it during the whole promo. And then at the very end, she said, you go be a warrior, and I'm going to go be a mom. And I thought that was so great.
Mm-hmm.
It's the first time ever there's such a focus on women's wrestling, and this is a real-life thing. And so I thought it was really good for the WWE. And then also later on in the night, I thought, oh, well, somebody's got to get some heat off of this thing. And then Shayna Baszler said something about her being knocked up, how irresponsible. So I thought that was even good.
You got to get a little heat on the thing. I mean, come on,
yeah.
for God's sake.
And they also have to be careful because they're positioning this towards children, to where you don't want children to be like, oh, it's super cool to go get pregnant. So it was kind of like a fine line that they had to do in a way to announce it to where it was a big deal and it was special, but it wasn't like, hey, kids, go out and do this. So, but I thought it came together pretty nicely. It's the first time that that's ever happened, to where we have a current champion having to relinquish a title because of pregnancy. And Seth Rollins, of course, is the father of the baby, who is a WWE wrestler as well. So there's no telling where they could go with this storyline-wise, but in real life, I think it's really, really cool that happened.
It goes back to the day when Mae Young gave birth to a hand.
Oh, I forgot about
God.
that.
I knew you were going to bring that up.
And then the storyline just died. She gives birth to this hand, and then that's we don't
that was it.
Nothing else about this baby thing.
Because everyone was like, what the hell are we all doing here? What is happening right now? What am I watching? That was when WWE was just insane. That was when they were on just on acid or something. Like, it was wild.
It's like they booked themselves into a corner and they didn't know where to go after that. The only thing that's really come close, I guess, in my generation that I know of, is when WWE signed Awesome Kong, who went on to be in Glow and TNA and all that kind of stuff. But I believe that she was pregnant, or she became pregnant after she signed with WWE, so she never really debuted. So it wasn't like an on-screen thing that they really had to address. But when you've got Becky Lynch coming off of a historic women's championship title run, because she had the title from WrestleMania till past WrestleMania. She beat Ronda Rousey and Charlotte Flair in the Triple Threat, which headlined WrestleMania. First time the women have ever done that. So this historic title run, the only way that it ended was with Becky Lynch being pregnant. Now, what I thought they could have done, and they still might do, is Asuka gets the championship, but why doesn't Becky keep the briefcase?
Mm-hmm.
That way,
That
when
makes
she
sense.
comes back in 9, 10, 11 months, you have to do it within a year based off of the Money in the Bank rules. But I thought it would be a nice touch that if she was prepared to come back, what a freaking comeback that would be after childbirth. You come back and you headline a pay-per-view and win your championship back. Oh, my gosh, that would just be a great story for women and mothers all across the world.
Well, the timing really fits a couple different things. They could do it for WrestleMania next year, if everything goes well with the pregnancy and all that, or Mother's Day next year.
Oh wow, yeah.
There's plenty of you could just about make that happen if you wanted to get it right up to the very edge of the 1 year deadline for the to the extent that's going to matter. You could, I think I agree with you. That would be a fun way to do it. I know that Becky wants to get into the acting world, kind of pull a little bit of a Rock situation, and she's been doing that some. So that may happen, but I mean, I think much like The Rock, I think she's going to have enough power to be able to make appearances and kind of come in and come out from time to time as needed.
Yeah, absolutely. But in that briefcase thing, they didn't necessarily address what happens to the briefcase. We just automatically assumed that the briefcase has gone away. But at any time, within 10, 11 months after she has the baby, she could totally come back and say, hey, you might have gotten the championship, but I kept the briefcase and I'm cashing in. And just if they can keep that quiet, whatever they decide to do when they bring her back, it will be just insane. I mean, it'd be a goosebumps moment for WWE to have her come back after all that and to just make a big surprise appearance and win the title back. I think it would be awesome. But yeah, she definitely can go out into the movie and acting type of thing. You see Roman Reigns is kind of doing that now. I think that if he ever left wrestling, which there's all sorts of rumors and stuff because he didn't perform at WrestleMania, but he's the type of guy that I think would go out and be very, very successful, like Batista and The Rock. The Rock is kind of that's the rarest form. I mean, Hogan has probably reached some of that status, but not even on the movie level that The Rock has. But a guy like Roman Reigns could. I think Becky could do something like that. It'd be really good. Cena is doing very well, even though he's not like starring in these movies, but he is a big part of some of these movies, and it's made him even more famous,
Anybody watching the Big Show?
Maria binge-watched some of that, and I was going to watch with her, and I just haven't gotten on board. I did see the Main Event movie, the kids' movie WWE made. It was fantastic.
Okay.
It was really good. But I need to binge-watch the Big Show because I heard it's really good.
All right, that is what I wanted to know because this Big Show, Mick Foley's in there, Mark Henry, people from my wrestling childhood. So I hesitate to watch it because I didn't know what it was. Now that I know that people are saying it's okay, I'll give it a watch.
It's a sitcom. It's basically a kind of like a Full House, that you would watch on TV. I mean, and also
does it have a theme song?
Does it have a theme?
Like the Big Show.
Oh man, I don't know.
Having fun, Big Show time for everyone.
Zach, you see what the Big Show theme is? Do they explain everything that's happening?
Well, he is a professional wrestler, but I don't know if they call him Big Show. I'm not sure, but I do know that Stone Cold Steve Austin signed off for season 2. So that's a big get.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Stone Cold needs more. We need more gigs for Stone Cold. I need more. He's doing all right for himself, but I need even more Stone Cold in my life. That's what I need. What do you think? What's the reaction? We've had about 6 weeks of quarantine and everything else and all that stuff. So what do you think about the wrestling world now? It's been a couple months without fans. How in your mind, how has everyone managed to react from an on-screen product standpoint? I'm not talking about behind the scenes, everyone doing all that. I'm just saying the product itself, as wrestling's always been very good at kind of reinventing itself as needed, and it's had to again. What do you think?
I think that it took them several weeks to get on a different track because it's different cutting a promo to an empty building. And I know it's TV, so really you're talking to the television camera anyway, is the way it's supposed to be. Even though the WWF superstars or WWE superstars aren't allowed to really look into the camera, that's kind of a rule that they have there. But they have had to change the way that they cut their promos, even the way that they wrestle and how they communicate in the ring. You hear a lot more of grunts and groans and screaming and trash talking and stuff like that. But I think AEW, who is on TNT every Wednesday night, I think that they have done a little bit of a better job than WWE as far as performing without an audience. And that's because they have some of their stagehands and staff members and even some of the other wrestlers socially distanced out in the audience making noise, and that really helps a wrestler as far as what he's going to do next, or it just kind of helps with a better connection with the audience that's there. Whereas WWE, for several weeks, they were just showing like empty chairs, and they still have this habit where they pan across Monday Night Raw, and all it is light. There's nothing to look at other than a wrestling ring and a stage. But I think that they have had to adjust, and you can tell some of the really, really good ones like Edge and Orton on Monday night. It just feels like they're telling a story. It's not something that's necessarily scripted that they have to remember. Whereas some of the younger talent, you'll see that. Like, I hate to call them out, but Alexa Bliss on her little talk show, that stuff seems very, very staged, even the reactions. So I think you're kind of getting to see who the really best performers are right now without the audience. You know?
I think in what you're talking, the performance aspect of it, the thing, it's a double-edged sword because it highlights some of the stuff that I find most unappealing personally. Just my personal thing I find unappealing about the current product, at least particularly from the WWE, less so from AEW, but more from the WWE. I think their production values are very high, but they've gotten so overproduced with camera angles and with the way that the even the thing is shot it's heightened all that. So some performers kind of come through that and look better, and some are really charismatic and have been amplified by that. The stuff they've done with like Bray Wyatt has been amplified by the creativity that you need in these kinds of situations. But it's just simple stuff to me, like Dustin, like shooting a match, like the constant camera cut right as the punch is hitting or right as the kick is landing. They change the camera angle to sort of obscure the fact that it's a little looser than they would like it to be.
It was a bad kick,
man. Yeah, I'm from the old school, and they do it for like every kick or the punch where it's like, if you can't see my Zoom video, but like when they punch, they kind of they sort of jump the camera in slightly to kind of accentuate the contact, and I that's so distracting to me as a viewer, man. Just let the match, kind of breathe a little bit. We don't have to overproduce every little thing.
They call that the action cam, Peter. And I know that I see it. I see it on Twitter to where there was actually a cell phone recorded video of a cameraman doing this, like during the action. So like a fan in the front row. And it was the wildest thing. I don't have that big of a problem with it, but on Monday night, there was a whole lot of bad kicks and bad punches, so you could see it a lot. But they're having to change the way that they're doing all this stuff. That's just really in-ring performance. They should really, keep it tighter.
Am I wrong? I mean, like at that level, Dustin, like you're talking like, one of your matches when you get in the ring, man. It's you're not like, I'm not saying you're like gonna go out there and potato guys, but like you're working relatively snug. You're
you have
getting out there. You have to, and I don't see that in WWE. Like I don't know. It feels like, especially in the Performance Center, I guess because the fans aren't there and maybe you're not as distracted by other stuff. You're really just watching the action. But I feel like we had a lot of loose. It does not look up to what I would consider the highest level in a lot of these cases. Not everybody, obviously, but a lot of cases. I'm really surprised by what I'm seeing.
And they're having to change because, the good guy versus bad guy, when the good guy punches and they go, yay, and then the bad guy punches and they go, boo, and you got this yay, boo, yay, boo. Those punches always look terrible, but it makes it better because the crowd is responding.
Right.
And right now there's nothing there's nothing to respond to, so it just looks like empty punches. But to shift gears just a little bit, how well did they do on Money in the Bank? The most unique Money in the Bank match ever. We never saw this thing coming. And so they're having to give the audience stuff that they've never ever seen before.
That part's great.
So this
I love that creativity aspect of it. I do like that. And a lot of people are really shining in that situation as well.
Look at Asuka.
Mm-hmm.
Asuka, since she jumped on commentary with the Raw announce team, I don't know, 3 weeks ago or so, and you couldn't understand anything she was saying, but people on Twitter blew up about it and said, we've got to have more of Asuka. Please bring Asuka onto the commentary team. So now you get all this crazy stuff from Asuka. She has seemed to flourish in this deal without an audience. But that Money in the Bank stuff is very cool, even though a lot of it's pre-taped and everything. I mean, who wouldn't want to see the inside of Titan Towers at WWE headquarters? They were literally wrestling and fighting in Vince McMahon's office. I just thought it was super cool, and then both matches going on at the same time. And CJ, I don't know if you know this, but on Money in the Bank, they actually started on the ground floor of Titan Towers. The briefcase was on the roof of Titan Towers with a wrestling ring on the roof. And so they had to fight from ground one all the way up to the top and grab the briefcase. And I thought it was, at first,
great idea.
What? They're going to do what? Yeah, and then it just...
He's wild.
It worked. It was cool. And
you got to lean all the way into it, man. You got to lean all the way into the weirdness. You know.
Did anybody try to get on the elevator?
Yeah. They were on the elevators. It was cool.
Okay.
You have to. And
Definitely
there's some,
different.
and you could have, but that goes back, to the Tupelo brawl, in the concession stand. And,
yeah.
Back in the day, and the Falls Count Anywhere matches where you would see Benoit and Kevin Sullivan fighting in the women's room and there's a good history of this, but you might as well lean all the way into it because you're going to have to anyway, and you might as well pre-tape some stuff because why wouldn't you? It's not like you got a live audience to worry about in burning out the crowd or anything else. So yeah, I when they do stuff like that, I'm cool with it, man. I just. And the work looks good too. In those situations, the work looks good, and it makes more sense. To me, it makes more sense to do those funky camera angles and to do some weird stuff with the camera because you're not in the ring. You're not in the
right.
But in the ring, it just looks so artificial when you start getting all artsy with it. It makes much more sense if you're on a last ride match in a junkyard with the Undertaker. Well, yeah, go crazy with the camera angles because what are we? I mean, you're putting on a movie basically, so you might as well just go crazy with it. Not in the wrestling ring though.
Yeah, there have been a lot of complaints about the action cam, and I never really had that big of a problem with it because I know they're trying to be unique and give us something different. But that thing's been going on for a long time. I think it's just way more noticeable now because we're basically, you can watch wrestling now with the sound off.
Yeah.
Because the crowd's not there. You can watch with the sound off and know exactly what's going on.
They used to pump in the crowd back in the day too. They used to sweeten it up pretty good on those syndicated shows to kind of, give people the idea of who was supposed to be getting the push and who was supposed to be cheered for. And if you actually watch the fans, they're kind of not that interested, but the crowd's like,
right.
Oh my God, this is crazy. Yeah. So, everything old is new again. Now, here's what I want to ask you as a worker. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Wrestling is unique because especially, outside of WWE and AEW to an extent, but particularly outside of WWE, you got, if you're working independents and stuff, you got to go and you got to deal with individual promoters. You got to deal with you got to do all your own stuff. So you as a performer star, if you're out there and you're trying to look and you're kind of exploring getting back into it and getting back after what we're dealing with the coronavirus, how do you go about doing it? What would make you as a worker feel safe in that situation from a promoter? Like if somebody contacts you and says, hey, we got the order's been lifted in our state, we're in, wherever, Alabama, who knows, and we'd like you to come in and work, we'll give you X. What would they have to tell you for you to say, hey, I'm in, I feel comfortable getting back in the ring?
It all depends on which organization it is. I'm very familiar with a lot of the local organizations. I know what their locker rooms look like. I know the cleanliness. I know the boys, that kind of stuff. On this Saturday's Championship Wrestling on CW30, I do a report from Middleton, Tennessee with Middleton Independent Wrestling. And they're about an hour from Memphis. I'm also going to do one in Boonville, Mississippi, to where I just visit and show the upgrades and the improvements that they've made. And how they're looking to bring back live wrestling. So it depends on who it is and where it is. For instance, if Hollywood called, my partner called from Hollywood and wanted me to fly out and do a taping without an audience or even with an audience, I would probably jump on a plane and go and do that because I'm comfortable with, and I think that they would be taking the right precautions as far as being safe. But me personally, when we get back to doing, if I'm at the table signing autographs or what have you, I will probably be wearing a mask, at least for the first bit of it, just to be safe. And not necessarily because I'm scared or anything like that, but because I have family. Absolutely. And I'm coming back home to my family. So I would take every precaution that I could. Like I would have hand sanitizer and the stuff that I need. I would have a mask. I would do everything to make sure that I'm protected. And then I would also be as socially distant as I possibly can, especially in the locker rooms. Because kind of when you're in the ring, it's just three guys. It's you, your opponent, and the referee. You don't have to get near the audience unless you want to, but a lot of that is meeting the fans, at the table when you're selling pictures and shirts and stuff. So that's a really good question. I think it all just depends on who, what, when, where, and how. Because there are certain promoters that do care about stuff like that, and then there's going to be a lot of promoters that you're going to see running wrestling shows way before they're supposed to. And it's just because there's a certain amount of people that don't believe. And I don't know how you can't.
I don't either.
The world shut down because of it, but there are going to be those people that are going to be very, very stubborn, and they're going to break the rules. And so to answer your question, me as a performer, I think I have to take it case by case and accept the bookings that I feel are safer than the others. But also I got to keep in mind, basketball, baseball, soccer, and all the other stuff. I don't want those folks to think that I'm unsafe because I took these crazy wrestling bookings. So I got to factor that in too.
It's a lot. There's a lot more to it. Yeah. And I mean, and that's the thing. And I know we got to run, but as a wrestling fan from way back and as somebody who's been back in those locker rooms myself and seen a lot of different promotions, and I just know I worry a little bit about some of the workers out there who need that money, who need that.
Let's pretend that you went to a local wrestling show last weekend and you came back to the station and the station said, well, hey, you weren't really socially distant. You were at that event. We don't really need you to come in. That could affect other jobs.
Absolutely.
So that's another thing that I have to take into consideration.
You mentioned the family and stuff, and these kids, people putting themselves at a risk, because they need the money and they need the bookings, but they, so they're willing to kind of cut some corners on being safe, and then people can end up getting sick. I worry. Some industries are more protected than others, but the wrestling industry, there's a lot of looseness in certain aspects of it, and so we need to. Yeah. I hope everyone kind of keeps looking out for each other.
Me too.
As best we all can. As always, great stuff. Check out Dustin Starr. You got the report on Middleton coming up this weekend on Championship Wrestling on CW30. You're going to want to watch that on Saturday. You and Maria, good stuff as you guys continue to take your studio there at the house and expand it out through the entire universe.
This Saturday we have a special skit where my Maria is going to cut my hair on television.
Oh, my God.
So not only do we have the report from Middleton, Maria's going to be cutting my hair on television. There's just a lot of really fun stuff that's coming up. And we also have an interview with King Cobra, Memphis legend, inside Mid-South Coliseum. So we got a lot of local flavor. And you're going to see a lot more of that as we start to position things for the comeback, so to speak. And you'll be seeing a lot more local stuff on the program coming up.
I can't wait. I can't believe you're letting her do it, and I can't believe she's going to do it. It's the highest risk thing that I've ever seen on TV since people walking the tightrope across the Niagara Falls. This is very similar to that. That's exactly
There's the bell.
That's right. The bell could be tolling. Star, thanks, buddy.
Meat.
That's right.
Thank you, man.
Thanks, Star.
All right.
He is Dustin Starr joining us as he does. Oopsie daisy, hit the wrong button.
Oh, my goodness. Good grief.
I know.
Ready to go.
I hit the wrong button there. I'll have to jump back in. We'll come back. Let me fix this, and we have lots more to get to. Sports 56 Mornings, Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 96.1, 87.7.
Spend your lunch with Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy on Sports 56 Middays, delivered by FedEx. Weekdays from 10 to 1 on Sports 56, 96.1, and 87.7.
First Bank is here to help you, whether you're a business looking for a loan to expand or refinance an existing one, a homeowner looking for a mortgage or home equity line, a consumer wanting to finance your dream car, or wanting a competitive rate on your CD deposits. Let First Bank try to handle your banking needs. Stop into one of First Bank's 3 local branches today. 6482 Poplar Avenue, just east of International Paper, 8398 Highway 64 across from Wolf Chase, and 6280 Highway 64 in Oakland. Or check them out online at firstbankonline.com. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
A heart in my tasty Honey Nut Cheerios? Cereal, you trying to tell me you love me?
Actually, it's reminding you that it can help lower cholesterol as part of a heart-healthy diet.
Wait! They can help lower cholesterol? I've been so focused on the sweet, tasty taste that I completely forgot. Now I'm in love.
Learn more about making Honey Nut Cheerios part of your heart-healthy lifestyle by picking up a box at your local grocery store.
I Buy Houses, 901-406-1101. That's 901-406-1101. I Buy Houses. I Buy Houses will buy a house in any area, in any condition, and yes, it's guaranteed to close in 5 days. If you need to sell your home quickly, call 901-406-1101. If you've been through a divorce, if you lost your job, if you're tired of renters, I Buy Houses can get you your money quickly. I Buy Houses will buy your home in Shelby County, DeSoto County, Memphis, Bartlett, South Haven, Horn Lake, Olive Branch, anywhere and everywhere in between in any condition. And yes, they're open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. I Buy Houses, 901-406-1101. That's 901-406-1101. Grab that pen, 901-406-1101. I Buy Houses.
Listen Sundays at 11 a.m. to join Idlewild Presbyterian Church for worship. Idlewild is a PCUSA church located in Midtown Memphis.
Got something you want to get off your chest?
You better have a backup plan.
Want to join the conversation?
Someone needs to tell him he has to grow up.
Join us on the First Bank phone lines at 360-8255 or the First Bank text line at 67129. Welcome back to Sports 56 Mornings with Peter Edmiston and CJ Hurt. This hour is brought to you by Acura of Memphis. Here once again are Peter and CJ.
Wrestling name be?
My wrestling name?
The Parmesan?
Yeah. The Parmesan Assassin? Or maybe it'd be Parmesan? So, I don't know.
We already got the Deacon. The Deacon's got
Deacon over there,
name.
yes.
The Deacon is a great wrestling name.
Yes.
I don't know of any Deacon
in the history of wrestling,
scene.
there's never been a Deacon. All of the
there probably has been.
they play off of.
There probably has been, but I don't really remember a guy named the Deacon or Deacon. I don't. I'm sure there's some independent wrestler that's done it, but on a high level, I don't think so. I don't think there's ever been one. So I think you got the Deacon could be right there in the mix. Certainly not Deacon Stacks.
I'm gonna come rolling in there, rolling in a casket from my opponents, just to let you know once I get finished with you. Put you in the casket.
The Undertaker's already done all that.
No.
You're
coming in with a wheelbarrow of money. We've decided how you come in.
You're gonna be like the $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase, except different a little bit.
Yeah, with minus the problems.
Minus the potential issues with the fraud of Mississippi, and all that stuff. Yeah, a little bit different. But yeah, absolutely. I think we've needed somebody like you. You combine like the Reverend Slick. Do you remember Reverend Slick?
There we go. I thought there was one. Okay.
He wasn't deacon though. He was just a
reverend.
Reverend Slick. Now we toned down the extraordinary racial stereotypes that were out there. That was we have to tone that down out hugely, but. Maybe take that aspect and then take that with the $1 Million Man and combine those two, and I think you got something going there. I think that's where the action is right there.
I'm saying Deacon Stacks, gold rings and diamond rings all over his hands, big old chain coming down in a suit. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, like Brother Love. Brother Love, was like that. Brother Love was a wrestling or the preacher. He was a manager and he had a lot of the gold rings and stuff, and all that. He was so very, you could take some elements of that, and then some elements of the $1 Million Man Ted DiBiase, and I think we got his character is done.
Yes.
So there's a wrestler called the Freaking Deacon.
It's the Freaking Deacon, baby. I'm about to have me some fun.
Wait. The who? The what?
It's
the Freaking Deacon?
There's
Did a caller call in with that?
Are you sure that's a wrestler?
Yeah, there's a...
Thank you, caller.
DSW. Well, the caller called in saying there is a rapper named Freaking Deacon.
Okay.
Oh, he's a rapper?
Yes.
He's not a wrestler.
It's both.
He's a rapping wrestler?
No.
Too Cold Scorpio?
It's two separate guys. One is a rapper. The other one is a deacon.
The Freaking Deacon?
They do not coexist.
It's the remix to Ignition. The Freaking Deacon was a line in that song, I'm sure. That's Luke Gallows. I forgot about that. Yeah, Luke Gallows had the Freaking Deacon. That's true. I forgot his name. He used to be the deacon back in the old days.
Freaking Deacon. Okay.
Freaking Deacon.
All right.
There was apparently an old radio guy from West Virginia named the Freaking Deacon.
Huh. So it seems to be a real common name.
But nobody's ever been like the deacon. Just the deacon. Just the deacon. Deacon
There's always
Stacks.
like a freaking or a demon in front of it.
Mm-hmm. The demon deacon. We've already got that. That's Wake Forest. We're not going to be doing that. No. But I'm just saying.
But that's a great academic school. I don't know why anybody would want to transfer from Wake Forest to go to Kentucky to play basketball.
No, what kind of degree would you get in Kentucky?
I don't.
Come on, that's not even worth talking about. It's obviously it's a reason why you would go to these schools, and it's only because of the academics and no other reason whatsoever. It doesn't make any sense. Obviously, you wouldn't.
Shout out to the deacons of the demons, or the demon deacons, whatever they are.
The deacons of the demons, the demons of the deacons. Right about there. So we've kind of discussed, and there's lots of different like. Every day we find some new offshoot of this whole thing, some new weirdness that happened. Today it happened to be sort of virtual fans. And, in fact, Joe Buck himself has been on Twitter this morning to try to clarify what that meant exactly. He said, the headline doesn't match what I said. Said, I've been saying for over a month, including on HBO in April, that some ambient crowd noise under a broadcast is a simple, necessary tool to normalize the viewing experience at home. There is no traditional take on this topic. It's new territory. Hoping stadiums are full and all is normal. If not, then it's a blank canvas. All networks will try to make it look and sound as normal as possible. It could lead to unprecedented, thrilling access. Who knows? Says Joe Buck on Twitter. But crowd reactions are an enormous piece of the TV puzzle. All reactions by a crowd are valuable and can be used, as far as I know. I use it as much as I can and still keep my job. Big moments like the Minnesota Miracle are made on TV because of the crowd noise. It doesn't have to be over the top, but something has to be there. Contrary to the misleading headline at SI and other places, I said Fox is working on virtual fans. They are working every day on anything to make our shows the best on TV. That's exciting to me, and I'm thankful. Some ideas will work and some won't. That's the nature of working on something. It's uncharted water. It could be a very exciting time in network TV coverage. I can't wait to see how it all plays out. Praying for a safe return to a stadium near you for all involved. So there you go. Joe Buck is saying, hold off on the robots just yet.
Oh. No Cletus in the stands?
He said they're working on stuff. So it could be.
Okay.
It could be. You could have Cletus in the stands. I'm not saying you won't. Just don't assume that you're going to have Cletus in the stands.
Okay.
Because that may not be. It may not. But I agree with you that we need to have. That you do have to normalize it. He talks about. I think it's true. Normalizing it is an important part of the process. Like it would be. It's already weird enough as it is. So if if it's just no noise whatsoever, and it sounds like a scrimmage kind of thing, or you're just hearing yelling from coaches and other players and stuff, you probably do have to kind of normalize that to some degree. The other issue, CJ, I have, I want to see how it affects players on the field. Because, I mean, as a performer, part of the point of it is that you want to perform for the fans. You want to get the fans going. How many times have we talked to players and they've talked about how the fan reaction was the biggest thing and the fans were into it and home field advantage and all that stuff. There is no such thing as home field advantage if you don't have fans. I mean, other than baseball where you might have dimensions that are different in somebody's park. Otherwise, there's no difference in playing football, same field, baseball or basketball, same court, hockey, same rink. The fans are the ones who make the difference. The fans are the ones that make the home field, home court advantage. Without them, I don't know how. To me, player performance is going to be interesting because I don't know if players are going to be able to get up in the same way to do what they normally do.
You can get up. The crowd noise that the home team has, that advantage is going to be gone. And so that is going to be interesting. I would expect it to be more of a level playing field because one of the things that really make Seattle and New Orleans and in the Superdome is the way the crowd gets and how loud they can get and how you have to game plan around that sort of noise. But as far as, getting up for it, you want to go out there and you want to perform at the highest level that you possibly can. As somebody who has played in many an empty arena for various reasons, it's the fact that there is no crowd noise doesn't really impact the game in a way that leads you to not want to get up and make you not want to go out there and compete and not want to get out there and make big plays. They are already motivated. The crowd really doesn't motivate you any more or less. Is just the fact of having it there to give you the advantage if you're the home team and having it there and having to game plan around it if you are the team on the road.
Well, I don't think, especially having been off for this long, I don't think it's going to be a matter of getting up so much. But I do think that the element of unpredictability is going to be eliminated to a large degree. I think part of what makes sports unique and fun and all that stuff is, the better team doesn't always win. The better performer doesn't always win. If it were just that simple, then you wouldn't even really have to play the games because you'd know, like, okay, yeah, look, Jordan's teams are going to win because they're obviously much better, and why are we even playing these games? But sometimes they don't. And the crowd reaction and the way that players react to that is a big part of it. And that helps to increase the unpredictability. How many times do we see upsets in college football where the crowd's on crazy? You have to take that road trip to wherever, and it's just a tough place to go, and the other team loses as a result of that. You take the crowd away, all of a sudden, to me, you have much more of a predictable outcome in sports. That unpredictable nature of what might happen, it's kind of like you have a 7-game series. Like over the course of a 7-game series, more often than not, the better team's going to win. It's really hard to upset a team 4 times out of 7. One time, though, absolutely. Anything can happen in one game. Well, with the fans, same thing. You might have a situation where the fans are just outrageous and wild, and they get a guy into foul trouble because he gets a little heated, he gets a little overreacted. Now he's off the floor. Now things change. He comes back. He's pushing to him. There's all these different elements you can't hear in football. You can't hear yourself calling these plays, and I think you take that out of the game, and I think the game just becomes a little more just kind of blah. Like it's okay, they're better, they're going to win. Yeah, they won.
Yeah, but that's not affecting the players from a trying standpoint. Players are going to go out there and do their best and try and get out there and compete to the highest level that they're
capable of. But it make you feel bigger though. If you're an underdog and like I'm playing LeBron, let's say I'm actually a decent basketball player, and I'm playing LeBron, and let's say he misses a couple shots, crowd gets on him a little bit, and I make a couple, crowd gets on me, and now everyone's fired up. All of a sudden, I get pumped up a little bit. I got a little extra oomph, I got a little extra confidence, I got a little extra swell. Maybe he starts to push a little bit. It's not going to affect in terms of your preparation for the game, but as the game goes on, there's definitely times that crowd can get under somebody's skin and take their level down. A good player, knock them down a notch. And you've seen guys react, and all of a sudden they're on fire. And then and guys are, Javon Carter had a 31, 32-point game one time. Like, why? What? Like, weird things happen sometimes. You never know. You never know. But I think when you take the fans out of it, I think you limit that a lot, because I think all of a sudden it's just much more, here's what would happen if we put you two in an empty gym. Yeah, of course this guy's going to win because he's better, and it's unusual. It would be unusual to have any other way. I think that aspect of it, you can't fake that with crowd noise. You can fake that for the TV audience, but you can't fake it for the performers. I do think it's going to affect the actual game itself.
The emotion is going to be there whether fans are there or not. And so if you are a player that feeds off of the emotions of the game, you are aware of what's going on the court, on the field, the pitch, or what have you, and you're going to be able to feed off of that. You know when LeBron James is missing shots and when you're making shots. Your teammates know also. And so whatever celebrations look like, I don't know. We are not going to be running around chest bumping, high-fiving, patting on the butt, patting on the backs. But whatever your team is doing to celebrate your accomplishments, your achievements in game, you'll still have that. Players say, in addition to saying, hey, the crowd was a big part of the reason we won, you got players who also say, hey, listen, when I step on the court, when I step on the pitch, it's just me and the opponent. I have found a way to block out the crowd noise. I have found a way to block out all the distractions that come with playing in front of thousands and thousands of people. It is going to affect the game, sure, but not to the point to where players aren't able to get out there and get up and be emotional in moments during the contest.
No. And that's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying they won't be emotional. They'll be emotional because they want to win, they want to play their best. What I'm saying is that reality will hit you a lot harder and a lot quicker in those situations than it would otherwise. If you can get up and get emotional and you can get yourself ready to play and all that stuff, and then you play the first 5 minutes against Giannis, and Giannis is just destroying you because he's bigger and stronger and better. If you don't have that fan reaction to kind of get you back into it a little bit and give you a little bit of a morale boost, or the fan reaction to help knock him down a little bit to start, then you don't have that extra energy. That you're done. I mean, that second wind that sometimes you get, if you're out there running and you're running that marathon, and you see, some of your family about halfway through, and they give you a little sign, that kind of pumps you up and gives you an extra little adrenaline pump through your body to get you going. If you don't have that kind of stuff, like you just, like it's just gonna, I worry that the games are going to be a little more predictable as a result of that. We'll see, but I just think that's going to be an inevitable outcome where it's like, yep, they won, they're supposed to win, and they're going to win. The crowds are such a huge part of generating upsets and a huge part of generating uncertain and unusual and unpredictable outcomes. We'll see. We have a very predictable outcome. It's the end of the show. It's coming up next. We have more to get to. We can take your text as well, 67129 on the First Bank text line. We're in the Family Leisure Studios all across this beautiful area. Nice day today. Going to rain the rest of the weekend, so get your good stuff outside, whatever yard work, everything else, you need to go ahead and knock it out today if you can, because it might be tougher to do it over the weekend. Back after this, Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 96.1, 87.7.
Take Sports 56 with you on your phone or tablet. Download our official Sports 56 app today.
The folks at Homer Skelton Hyundai want to say thank you. Thank you, Memphis, for another spectacular year. They set records, but I can understand why. You think about the product. Where else do you get a 10-year, 100,000-mile limited powertrain warranty? That's what you get on every new car at Homer Skelton Hyundai. Oh, and thank you again for the 11th straight year, the #1 certified pre-owned car dealership in all of Memphis. It starts with that product, but then it goes to the shopper assurance. Where else do you go where you get transparent pricing, flexible test drive, take the car for a couple of days if you want, streamlined buying process? You're not going to be there all day, in and out. And then, and I have not seen this anywhere else, the 3-day worry-free exchange. You buy a new car, if you've got any buyer's remorse, you've got 3 days to change your mind. Just get on Lamar, take it into Mississippi, the first exit's Craft Road, turn left, and go see Chris True and all the gang at Homer Skelton Hyundai.
Hi, this is John Conway with Conway Services. How old is your water heater? With most of the water heaters in the Mid-South located in the attic, the worst day you can replace your water heater is one day too late. It may be time for a tankless water heater from Conway Services that never runs out of hot water. Plus, these energy-saving models only heat the water you use, saving you money on your gas bill every month. Most 10-year-old water heaters were about 65% efficient when they were new, compared to a tankless water heater from Conway Services is up to 98% efficient. Plus, right now, get your tankless water heater from Conway Services for as low as $79 per month, or I'll give you $300 for that old tank water heater. And no more worrying about that tank bursting in your attic either. And with over 8,000 five-star reviews, you know Google guaranteed Conway Services will be providing that award-winning service every time. So call Conway Services, the Mid-South's premier tankless water heater professionals at 384-3511. And the first 30 callers with a 10-year-old water heater will come out and inspect it absolutely free.
Call 384-3511. Conway Services. Call Conway today.
The landscape is so beautiful at Town Village Audubon Park. Nestled in the heart of East Memphis, located corner of Park and Cherry, is a beautiful residential neighborhood. Looking for a great place to retire, but you still have a very active lifestyle? Then visit Town Village. Only requirements that you're 55 plus. Prices per month starting at $24.50. The Gourmet Chef welcomes you to visit our restaurant and bistro. Package includes 3 complimentary meals per day, maid service, free local transportation, monthly coffee club, theme dinner parties, lots of fun. Visit us and call Daniel or Bo at Town Village Audubon Park at 901-374-7342. There's no place like home. Town Village Audubon Park.
Welcome back to Sports 56 Mornings with Peter Edmiston and CJ Hurts. This hour is brought to you by Acura Memphis. Here once again are Peter and CJ.
CJ.
Yo.
Are you going to go to the zoo finally?
What you mean finally? I've been to the zoo.
Yeah, but it's been like 8 years, you said.
Yeah.
Well, go. When are you going to go? They're open.
Am I going to go like today? I will not be going to the zoo today.
Okay.
But I will put it on my list of things to go see.
When do you think you'll feel comfortable doing stuff?
I don't know. Vaccine certainly will help. Adequate treatment would certainly help. Getting more of a herd immunity would also help me in my feelings of comfort. So I can't answer those questions. I don't know.
The herd immunity thing is it's based on there were 3 new studies yesterday released in 3 different parts of the world. You had one in France. You had one in Spain, and you had one in Indiana. And I referenced the one in Indiana with Dr. Coopwood earlier in the show. But they all point to the same thing, essentially. And they're done 3 different ways. So, and we're still, I think the antibody testing that we're doing is still somewhat iffy. So I don't know that, the data is perfect. But based on the information that we have right now, you couple that in with the MLB study, which was done as well over the weekend. That one I don't put as much stock into because it wasn't a randomized study. The one in Indiana was truly random. The first truly random one, well, that one in Spain, those 2 were truly random. Like, that's the way that studies are supposed to be. The randomized, properly done sample that has statistical viability. And in each of the cases, it shows that it's about a 5% widespread population right now has been infected in some way, which is for herd immunity, you need like 70 to 80% at least. So I think everyone was hoping that those numbers would be more like 20 or 30 or even 50, because, then you would show that, boy, there's so many asymptomatic people out there, but they really had it. And that means we're getting close to getting some herd immunity and all that stuff. But the data as of yesterday, and it's starting to come out more and more as people have done more antibody studies, seems to indicate that it is not, in fact, as widespread. In fact, those are lower than you would have thought. And so we've had a lot of hospitalization and death based on a fairly low amount of spread, which means, A, that it's quite potent, much more potent than the flu, much more potent than folks out there. And B, you still got a long way to go before you're going to get herd immunity. If you're going to get herd immunity based on, a 1% death rate, if you wanted 70% immunity, or you wanted a 70% status to feel like immunity was going to be there, and it was a 1% death rate, you're talking about that's about 1.3 million people in the United States. That's a lot. That's not. Long story short, that is not an acceptable situation, I don't think, based on what we know right now.
And what we know right now may change. That's the thing with it being novel. That's the thing with it being so new, that it's constantly changing. And the more time we have to study it and learn about the nature of COVID-19, the novel coronavirus, the better of an understanding we get. What's true today might not be true tomorrow. And so time is certainly one of those things that we really, really need. What else we might really need as we get to the end of the show is some breakfast. It's never too early or too late, honestly, to be thinking about breakfast.
Nope.
Sunrise. Go check them out, 670 Jefferson. They got delicious breakfast casseroles to go. They're doing everything curbside. Go check them out. They got the classic casserole, the hash brown, the Southwestern, my particular favorite, the blueberry sweet biscuit casserole, and so much more. They deliver downtown to Midtown every single day. East Memphis on Mondays, Germantown on Tuesdays, and Wednesday they deliver out to Bartlett. Don't forget about their family packs. Feed up to 2, 4, or 6 people. That comes with biscuits, bacon, sausage, scrambled eggs, hash browns, fruit juice, and milk.
There you go. That sounds great. I'm hungry. Go get it. Everybody have yourself a very safe and happy Thursday. Middays. Going on next. Y'all be good.